Merry Christmas. Here we are with the first All Things 80s Christmas party live stream. And I must apologize first and foremost for not doing this last weekend. The truth of the matter is, when I did the warm up stream at the end of November, I ended up being incredibly drunk, as you may have seen. I never watch back my live streams. I don't want to see what I do. And I don't know what I did, but I do know that on Monday I was extremely unwell and rather bruised from falling over. So, with that in mind, I am taking things very easy today, mainly because on Tuesday we are traveling down to Memphis, Tennessee to see Elvis Presley's house all lit up for Christmas. So tomorrow I have a lot to do and I cannot be nursing another of these damned hangovers. So with that in mind, I've had a few jars to get loosened up, but for this stream I will be sipping on some Irish stout. I couldn't actually get Guinness. Could not find it anywhere, despite having bought a pack on Tuesday. Just to give you a quick backstory, we have a very good deal with the rent here, and part of that deal does entail me keeping the garden in good shape. So I was doing gardening, and I like to have a few jars when gardening, and I got myself some draft Guinness in a can with a little widget, so when you pour it, it's a perfect, draft pint. Went today to buy some, could not find it anywhere. So today we have something similar. This is called Forged Irish Stout. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not. It's all very sort of Celtic looking, and the fact that the top of the can is black is kind of cool as well. So I'll be sipping on this. I will not be getting wild and crazy because, like I said, very busy tomorrow. Now, the reason we're starting this a little bit earlier than normal is because I need to take care of a Patreon prize draw. If you don't know this, on my Patreon, every quarter, I do a prize giveaway for the members, and I'm doing the draw live on this live stream. So what will happen today is we'll get all the formalities out of the way. I'll say hello to everyone. I'll bring your comments up. I will do the draw. I will then post the link should anyone wish to come on and take part in this Christmas party. So as you can see, unlike the warm-up stream, we now have both trees. This is the real tree. These things are bloody expensive. This is like, I guess, a 4-foot tree. I think it was $70. I heard one guy in the store the other day saying that he bought a 6-foot tree and it cost him $180. Unbelievable. This artificial tree has served us well. We got this one. It could even be 10 years at this point, and I think it was about $40. So this has been a fantastic tree for us, but this will of course be the last time we do Christmas here in New York. But anyway, let me address the chat. I'll get the prize draw done. I will then post the link. So should anyone wish to participate, everyone is welcome to do so. Furthermore, in case you may have seen, I don't know how it appears on your version of YouTube, you have to be subscribed in order to comment. I think that's fair, but I think it says if you subscribe, and if you've never I'm sweating already. I do apologize for that. If you haven't already subscribed, if you subscribe now, you only have to wait 5 minutes to leave a comment. But anyway, let me get to the chat real quick. And first of all, we have Tom. Good to see you, Tom. I think Tom is our youngest viewer. You may have seen him on the stream with me and Monkey Boy a few months back. Good lad. Thank you, Tom, for stopping by. Stephen Russell says, looking forward to this. There's nothing like an All Things 80s live stream. That is very kind of you. Jim, good to see you. Largo's Lair. And Merry Christmas, All Things 80s in chat, indeed. And same to you, Jim. Stephen is smiling. I think I should probably be wearing glasses, but I'll do the best I can. Jason is here. He is on the train on the way back from London. Okay, if you get back in time, please do jump on, Jason. Merry Christmas to you as well, Jason. Stephen, Merry Christmas, Jason. Yeah. Nolan says hi to all and hi to you. Monkey Boy is here. Good to see you, Monkey Boy. Hope you're feeling better. I did see you posted you were a bit unwell this week, so hopefully you're feeling a lot better than you were. Trevor says, Merry Christmas, one and all indeed. Retro Toy Guy Sai. How appropriate that you should appear. So this morning I published my video where Sai very kindly sent me some items from the 80s, which were just fantastic. And I did a video showcasing those. So if you haven't already done so, please check out my video, but also subscribe to Sai's channel. The link is in the description of my video. Ostrak, Merry Christmas to you. And hi to Sai. Justin is here. Good to see you, Justin. Jason saying to Monkey Boy. William, good to see you, Will. Also, Will kind of appeared in today's video because a while back, Will had sent me a bunch of Matchbox catalogs. So we were able to look at catalogs which were probably from the UK, Europe side of things versus Matchbox catalogs from other parts of the world, and to see sort of the differences. But yeah, good to see you, Will. Seth is here. Good to see you also. Ray has sent a massive message. Let me try and read this. Hello, Dean and all friends. I've been away for a while. I apologize, but I've been watching as always. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Take it easy, Dean, and let's have fun. Thank you for this. Oh, thank you, Ray, for stopping by. And Monkey Boy is saying, those trees look stellar. Well, thank you. Yeah, I do love a good Christmas tree. And I think I say this every year, but it's worth pointing out as well that I did manage to salvage a lot of the old decorations from my mum and dad's house. So this fairy, I don't know if that's in shot or not, but this fairy was the fairy that I remember being on the tree. You know, I think my memory at best goes back to, I'm going to say 78. From about 78 to 83, that was the fairy on the Christmas tree. And of course, we have some baubles and some of Grandma's decorations. I think it's out of shot, but up there's a Santa that belonged to my grandma. But yeah, I do love the old stuff. Oh, also over there, I've got the old paper, the sort of crepe paper decorations that my grandma had. I do love the old stuff. Jay is saying, hello, buddy. Hello to you. Ryan is here. Hey, Dean and friends, just wrapping up some presents while we party. Awesome. Fantastic. Greetings from Berlin. Oh, thank you, Rob. Jason says, I will, of course. Thank you, Jason. Hey, Dean, Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas from Mark. Thank you, and the same to you. It's International Matchbox Day. Now, is that an actual thing, or are you making this up? Because if it is indeed International Matchbox Day, how ironic that I posted the video today not knowing it was. That is brilliant. Mr. Goboto is here. Good evening, sir. Adrian is saying, hello there, Dean. Happy Christmas. Happy Christmas to you. Tim says, all the best, Dean. I think Conor McGregor owns Forged Stout. I guess that would make sense. I've never heard of this brand before. As I said, I was in search of the Guinness with the widget in the can. And by the way, those widgets do indeed work. When you pop the can, there's a slight delay, and then you hear this extra bit of fizz. And then when you pour, perpendicularly, you get this fantastic creamy head, which is just wonderful. Yes, well, thank you, Tim. Retro Toy Guy Sai says, we have a fairy on our tree that my mom made 12 years ago from a plastic cup. Fantastic. In fact, I remember in primary school, we used to make fairies from toilet paper tubes. I can't quite remember how, but we did. I guess it was a case of using the tube, sticking some wings on the back, and making a round face, perhaps. In fact, who also remembers in primary school making those paper chains from that colored paper you would cut, and it was one side was like a stamp, and you would lick it, and it would adhere to the other side, and you'd make these chains that would hang in the window of the primary school. Do let me know in the comments, please. Next up, we have Mike is saying, season's greetings from New Zealand. Oh, fantastic. Now, what time is it there? I know that in Thailand, it's now like, 2:41 a.m. So New Zealand, potentially, what, 6 in the morning, perhaps? Ah, Ben is here. Merry Christmas, Dean, and all in the chat. Starting to feel like Christmas now with AT8's live. Oh, thank you, Ben, for stopping by. I'm glad you got notified this time. I remember you told me last time YouTube failed to notify you. Rob says, nice Christmas background. Eyes pink, heart. I'm guessing that's an emoji that StreamYard doesn't translate to. All I see is eyes pink heart shape. But let me just try and see yours on. Okay, I'm looking at YouTube. Yeah, 2 hearts and a big mouth. Yeah, they need to somehow sync up StreamYard with YouTube's a bit better, I think. No, just joking. Okay, Matchbox from UK, Netherlands, and New Zealand. Awesome. Thank you, Sai, for clarifying. I thought, oh, International Matchbox Day. That would have been quite something for me to put that video out. It was, Dean, and yes, I remember the paper chains. Ah, okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one that remembers that. Think nothing of being tipsy towards the end of the last live stream. You remained polite. Okay, well, thank you. I don't recall too much about the end of that live stream. That was a horrible mess. And that was because, now, it's no secret, I don't do well with having alcohol around. I have my issues, and somehow alcohol is a band-aid over those issues. And because I tend to go all in, I don't keep alcohol in the house. So I only buy alcohol. Like I bought a few cans today, for example. But on the last live stream, I did have some whiskey left over from a previous thing. And I was drinking that during that live stream, and that really messed me up. Like really horrible, horrible stuff. Left for Dead Fit. Hello from the UK. Hello to you, sir. Will says 8:45 Monday morning. Okay, so 8:45. So you are 6 hours ahead of Thailand. I'm just trying to imagine my time zones. Yeah, I don't do well with working out time zones. Jason says we are getting old. Oh, yes, we are. Indeed, we are. So we're at, how long has this been? 15 minutes almost. Well, 14. Hang on 1 second. Quick sip. So I know not everyone can join Patreon. I fully understand that. But what I like to do is when I do my Patreon prize giveaways, I like to do it whereby there's no trickery going on, because I have heard stories whereby other channels and other Patreon accounts tend to fix their draws so that their friends can win the prizes. So I thought, let's just do this one live. And that way, there's absolutely no question that everyone who has entered gets a fair chance. I will do this very quickly because I know that I would say the majority of people watching this right now are not members of my Patreon. I think I have banners here. Let me just quickly bring this up. So if you do wish to, the link is in the description, actually not of this video, of all my other videos. But the point is, this time round, the prize giveaway I'm doing, so we have a couple of sealed McFarlane. Oh, I almost said what I hate people saying. McFarlane Batman 66 figures. We have the boxing Batman and boxing Riddler, because I think these two display rather nicely together. And I would urge the winner to get these opened up and display them together like that. We also have and these are genuine vintage. This is a vintage Airfix Weeble dog. We have 1981 Hasbro Oscar the Grouch die-cast car. We have a stack. These are Topps, what are they called? Battle Plans Star Wars cards. We have a full set of 1 to 100 of the base set, plus a selection of the additional cards. And last of all, we have, from my own collection, these are the CFCB Unlimited Mask 3 3/4 inch figures. And this is embarrassing because Vanessa Warfield's leg tends to come off. And it's a reminder that these are not toys. These are adult collectibles to be displayed only. They are rather fragile, but we have Vanessa Warfield with the removable mask and also Floyd Malloy. I'm giving these away because I was collecting each and every one of CFCB Unlimited's 3 3/4 inch mask figures. But it got to the point where I just really couldn't keep up. So I'm keeping all my first wave of the figures, which are obviously the figures that came out with the first set of vehicles, so that in my display, I'll have all the vehicles displayed with a long mask driver, and then a second display with all the 3 3/4 inch figures with the short masked original Kenner figure in front of them. And I didn't have additional Vanessa Warfields or a Floyd Malloy. So I thought, you know what, let's give these away. So those are the prizes that one lucky winner will take. And I'm just going to do the draw in seconds and we'll get that out of the way. Not that I want to rush it, but I just want to get us down to the whole Christmas party thing. So let me see here. Let me just catch up with the comments that I've missed. Stephen says, getting old, but no less stylish. And Seth is here. Stick with beer, Dean. That stout is an excellent choice. I'm having a Flemish beer here tonight. Duvel IPA Citrus. Are there people here tonight having a beer? Yes, I think I did say in the opening video there, grab a drink and sit back and enjoy the party. So Sai is having a cup of tea. Fantastic. And Tim says, Whiskey Mac here, my winter tipple. Okay, let me share the screen. Now, this is not for everyone. This is for the patrons, or hang on, patrons who are members of Patreon. I think they should have called the website patreon.com. The whole Patreon thing does lend to a bit of confusion. Let me just share the screen. And again, this will show that there's no shenanigans as far as my giveaways are concerned. So give me 1 second so I can see that it is showing up on YouTube. And what I do as well is prior to doing the draw, I get everyone's name added per membership level, and I send that out to Patreon, let everyone confirm that I have the number of entries correct. And no one has said I've got it wrong. So that means hopefully I have it right. So in 1 second, one sip, if you don't mind. In 1 second, I will click to spin, and that will indeed pick one winner who takes home these prizes. So in, I guess, 3, 2, 1, we are live. And someone is going to be picked, and that someone is... It's Grindhead Jim. Congratulations, Jim. Jim is a 2-time winner now. Jim, it must be the luckiest man on earth. So, Jim, if you happen to pick some numbers for next week's lottery, please do let me know. Congratulations, Jim. I will contact you on Patreon if you're not watching this. I think I probably have your address because, like I said, I think you won the prize. Now, when was that? Was that last year, perhaps? Was that the prize from Thailand? I think it was the prize from Thailand last year. Over a year ago. But yes, so let me stop sharing this page and go back to StreamYard. So yes, Jim is the winner. And if you're not following Jim, Jim's channel, Grindhead Jim, check it out. He just got himself a new place to stay. He has a new collection room, so check that out. Let me just whiz through the chat, and then we'll then post the link should anyone wish to join. So congratulations once again, Jim. Having a nice cold beer, nice one. Justin says, I've got a Diet Coke. Got to take the kiddo to drumming lessons. Ah, very cool. Awesome. Glad to hear we have a future drummer. Eggnog in Portland, Oregon. Awesome. I'm going to buy some this year. Of course, the stuff they sell in the supermarket is non-alcoholic, but I guess you can add, I don't know, whiskey or whatever to it. I mean, it's very rich, isn't it? You cannot drink more than one eggnog, or maybe you can. I don't know. These Christmas parties are the best. Oh, thank you, Matt. Congratulations, Jim. Yes, indeed. Jim, congratulations. Congratulations to Jim. More congratulations. Oh, everyone's awesome. Jim, I hope you're watching this. And if not, I will, of course, contact you separately. Nice one, Jim. Congrats to Jim. Just getting off the train. I'll be back in 40 minutes. Got a bit of a walk and see. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Jason. So let me try to find out how I can share this link. Copy. So if I post this here and post that there. So that's gone up. Let me give it a moment because I can't pin it yet because on YouTube there's a bloody love heart in the way that I can't get those three little circles. But anyway, Ben has said, congrats, Crinehead, Merry Christmas, Monkey Boy Toys Me. Awesome. And that, of course, is me posting the link. Okay, nope. I need one more comment so that I can, anyone just comment some nonsense so that the thing moves up so I can pin this link to the top of the page. There we go. Thank you, Monkey Boy. Let me do this. Pin message. So I think we're pinned. And Monkey Boy has said, I'll hop on in a bit. If that's okay. If that's okay. What? Come on. You're always the first guest on. There's no if that's okay. Oof. They're already jumping in. So 1 second. Now, get this message. Congrats to Jim. Now, if I can find this little sound effect that I used last time round, I think there's someone at the door. Who could that be? It's none other than Retro Toy Guy Cy. Good evening.
Hi, everybody. Hello, hello. How are you?
How are you doing, Cy?
I'm just chilling before bed.
Oh, fantastic. I'm glad you could join us this time because I know it's late in Holland for you. But before you say anything further, I think I hear footsteps. The doorbell has rung again. And this time it's Tom. Hello Tom.
Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah. Merry Christmas, by the way.
Oh, Merry Christmas to everyone, of course.
I like your jumper, Tom.
Oh, thank you very much. It's my Christmas Boba Fett jumper. Every year I wear it. I either wear it too early or too late. Oh, nice one. Boba Fett bunnies.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I've had a very simple red and black plaid shirt that was my Christmas shirt that I think I've worn for possibly 8 Christmases. But a couple of years back, I saw one for sale, which was an even more Christmassy type shirt. So that's become my new Christmas shirt. So I've had to retire the old one, but I do tend to sort of stick to traditions, and it's very hard for me to waver from things that I determine. I said, I must wear this shirt on Christmas Day. And I think it was 2 Christmases back, I got the new one, and I felt dirty putting that one on. I thought, oh, but this is my Christmas shirt. I cannot cast that one to the side type of thing. Very strange, but...
Yeah. Now, the great thing about a Christmas tradition shirt or something is you wear it one day a year. So
yeah. And
as long as it still fits, it's...
Yeah.
It's like I have a Christmas Star Wars t-shirt, which I've had for donkey's years. But
did you hear that? If you just give me 1 second, Tom. The doorbell just rang again. It's Seth.
Hey, hi, dude.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys too. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
First time on a web stream ever.
Ever? Wow. Well, thank you for stopping by.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and you know what? This is just incredible because this is on fire tonight. Now,
Yeah.
who is this?
Hey,
Hey.
Hey, Monkey
hello
Boy.
everyone. Hello. How are you all doing?
Feeling?
Fine. Thank you. How are you?
It's good to finally meet you, Seth. Hi, Si. Hi, Tom.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Now, I think this is the first time I've actually spoken to Si and to Seth.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's so nice to have you come on. Now, what I'm thinking of doing is let's just share some wonderful memories of Christmas. Now, I know that Tom is at a disadvantage whereby you weren't even born in the 80s, were you?
I'm on YouTube. Thanks. Someone just entered the room.
Yeah, of course. So Tom, I'm just saying, you weren't actually even born in the 80s.
Nope.
No, you
Even
weren't.
out of age very well.
Yeah. But I'm just curious to know, so it doesn't have to be 80s, of course, but what are some of your most fondest memories of Christmas as a child?
Well, there was this time when I was probably it's either 5 or 6. It was no, thinking about it, it was when I was 5. Christmas that year, it was like my first proper wave of kind of Star Wars toys, and I remember because when you're a kid, like obviously your knowledge on Star Wars toys, pretty much the characters in the film, you know. So receiving like these characters and ships which people had actually picked out, like it was new to me because like I opened them and like each one would be kind of like a new experience. Going, whoa, they make that, or whoa, there's this, and I kind of feel like everything I have from that I actually still have today, because like it was just like, and I got some really cool stuff. I got like a Micro Machines Imperial Shuttle. I got, to be fair, a lot of 90s stuff, like a lot of kind of Power of the Force 2 kind of things. But just kind of receiving that, it just kind of like blew my mind as a kid. So yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Si? What is one memory that sticks out for you?
I always remember we'd have the Christmas tree up, and we always had a fake Christmas tree. Well, nothing wrong with a fake Christmas tree. And I'd always get my Action Force figures, and they'd have to work their way up the Christmas tree on some kind of mission or whatever. And then I always remember my parents getting annoyed with me because I was knocking the baubles out of the tree, or I had, I don't know, some red shadows hanging off of the tinsel or something.
Yeah.
Right. That's yeah. And then there's always for Christmas Day we always had the whole family around, but I have a small family anyway, so my grandparents would be there and my little brother, and then it would mainly be just sitting around and my grandparents talking about the war.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. It didn't matter how it started, it always ended with, weren't we lucky to win the war?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. So obviously we have 4 out of the 5 who grew up in the UK. Was watching the Queen's speech a big deal in your households?
Never seen it.
Ah. Yeah.
Yes, it was
I
sadly.
I always found it rather boring as a child because I think typically it came after the Top of the Pops Christmas special. So you went from the high of seeing all your favorite bands, you know, gallivanting on stage with tinsel and baubles everywhere, to suddenly this old lady sitting in a chair talking for like 15 minutes. It never impressed me as a kid.
Well, I think in my household, the Queen's speech was it was a sort of bittersweet moment because it was tradition in my household that we would have our Christmas lunch. We would then watch the Queen's speech, and only then was it present opening time.
Oh wow!
So I kind of looked forward to the Queen's speech because I knew that it meant that present opening time was rapidly approaching. But honestly, that was the longest 15 minutes of my life.
Yeah,
I couldn't wait for that old woman to stop talking so that I could just start tearing into the presents.
yeah. I think for me, I was fortunate in that I could open the presents in the morning, but the end of the Queen's speech indicated it was time for Christmas dinner.
Right.
So I guess for me, her wrapping things up was the signal I'm about to enjoy some delicious turkey. So, but yeah. And am I right in saying that last year was the first time it was the King's speech?
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been, yeah.
Was that odd?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Didn't watch it.
Yeah. And what was the one year that she had? Was that Anus Horribilis?
It's a bad year.
Oh, I think that was 2020, right? Because that was the first year of the naughty little virus that I'm not sure if we're allowed to mention on YouTube.
So we've got a few more chats just to bring up here. This is Mercer's Hideout says, if you want UK Christmas memories, you watch a film called Last Train to Christmas. It's on Now TV, and I filled with old Xmas stuff. It's a little bit like Back to the Future, but on a train. Interesting. Now, funnily enough, I may have mentioned this in previous streams, but the owner of this house cut the cable. So I got the Amazon Fire Stick to be able to watch TV shows. And they have one channel showing, vintage Christmas shows. And some of them were from the 60s, when clearly the producers were doing too much, acid or whatever. These are some really scary shows with like weird synth soundtracks. There was one that had humans dressed up as Christmas trees, and it showed their story from being, grown as new trees to basically being tossed on the garbage and then set on fire. It was quite horrific, actually. Sort of classic Christmas. 60s, almost sci-fi type thing. Oztrack says, were there any vintage 80s video games people fondly remember?
A lot of them.
Yeah. Which ones did you enjoy the most?
I played NES the most, I think. Nintendo 8-bit, and there's a Game Boy. The first Game Boy I've seen being released, and I've been playing that. Tetris, Super Mario, the series of the first three.
Right.
I had an Atari also in the very early 80s. I was very small in these days, but I can remember our Atari 2600 with Donkey Kong and Pac-Man, stuff like that. That was a different age for video games than today.
Oh, very.
I remember we had a BBC computer, which actually, I, if I remember rightly, it was actually a Christmas present that my father bought. But that was one of those where you had to make your own games and program your own games. And I think that might be why I hate computers now, because what sort of 5-year-old has the fun in making the game before you can play it and having to sit there and write all the lines of code?
Yeah, coding is a bit complex for a 5-year-old, but I remember when I was like 5, I was making my computer games in paper, like having a paper roll system, because computer games were very expensive, and we saw things that we wanted, but you couldn't always get it, so we tried to replicate them in carton. Maybe today, as a child, I would start coding. Who knows?
So, Side, that BBC computer, was that almost beige sort of chassis, and there were black and red keys?
Possibly.
I
don't remember. I think it was all just one unit with the keyboard built into it. You just plugged it into your TV. Yeah, and there was a tape deck, or I can't remember if there was a separate tape deck or the tape deck was built into it. But that's Everything was on cassette tapes.
Yeah, I still have one of these cassette tapes, like the Commodore 64 also used to use it. A lot of them before cartridges were really a thing. The storage medium was a cassette tape. Yeah, there was a whole range of computers. You just had to connect to the television and work on that as a monitor. There was an Amiga series. There was Commodore. There was many more. ZX Spectrum, stuff like that.
Yeah, because I do remember being in primary. I think it was primary 7, in fact, and we were given access to this computer, and we thought we had reached the age of sci-fi at that point. It was quite amazing. And I've just done a quick Google search, and my memory is in fact correct. So let me just see if I can share this page quickly. It's not a massive image, but let me see this one. If I share this, let me see. Does that come up on your screens?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, there we go. And now, now I'm just wondering, was the research to build this paid for via TV license?
No, because it's the BBC computer, it was not made by the BBC. It wasn't the British Broadcasting Corporation.
Oh, I see. So it wasn't.
From what I believe, it was another company.
Interesting. So, okay, for all these decades, I have assumed that was the BBC, as in the British Broadcasting Corporation, that had done this computer. Interesting. Good to know that I'm not.
I'm about 90% sure of that fact that I've just pulled out of the air.
We can research after the fact, but yeah, I'm so glad to know that my memory of the beige chassis and black and red keys has stuck with me.
But did you also have one then, Dean?
Well, not personally. I only ever got to use it in primary school.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I remember when our school first got the first BBC computer, and we were all absolutely astonished. We couldn't believe it. It was like the future had happened.
Yeah.
And then, of course, about a year later, the whole school got kitted out with them, so there were loads of them. But now I can definitely remember that getting that for the first time in school.
Yeah. Let me just catch up with this chat here. Mark Telford is here. Good to see you, Mark. Tim Hayes is here, saying hi to everyone.
Hey, Tim.
Hello to Sai. Mark is saying hi to everyone. So Kenny is saying, hey, Dean and guests, just popping in to say Merry Christmas, and I will catch up with the stream tomorrow. Awesome. Thank you, Kenny. Luke is here. Hey, chaps. But if a flying visit, just wanted to say another Merry Christmas to you. Well, thank you, Luke. Merry Christmas to you.
Hello.
The Spectrum had a code book that rarely worked. There was always a fault online. I did some BBC programming when I was at school and loved it. And yes, you are correct, Dean. They did come with red and black keys. Awesome. Rob says, we used to code our games from magazines for hours before playing on the C64 Commodore. Interesting. Ben is saying Merry Christmas to Luke. I loved my Amiga and Sensible Soccer.
Oh, yeah.
Sensible Soccer was awesome.
Yeah. Stephen is saying The Witches app L was BBC. I'm not really sure what that means. But Coglin's Law is here saying oi oi. Luke says hey to Ben. Stephen says The Witches Apple was a BBC micro game. And Mark says hi to Luke. Tim is saying, so who are the other two guys on the panel? I see a couple of new faces. Okay, let me just hide this and you will see this is 1980s and Star Wars guy Tom, and this is Seth, who you may have seen as S. I think it's S-Va.
Yeah, it's my initials.
S-Va. Okay.
I should change it to something readable, actually.
No, S-Va. I always see S-Va, and I know it's you. So there you go, Tim. Those are the other guests, and you're welcome to come on as well if you wish, Tim. Hey to Mark and Tim. And Jeff is saying, evening, gents, dropping in to say hi. Well, thank you, Jeff. So we've heard some memories. Monkey Boy, do you have any particular memories of Christmas in the 80s that really stand out for you?
Well, the one that does stand out, and I've possibly told this on one of your streams before, was when I received Darth Vader and Farm Boy Luke figures, because I hadn't seen Star Wars at the time that I received the figures. So I was still very impressed with them, and I was absolutely blown away by the look of Darth Vader. But I had no reference material to base it on, so I didn't actually know what they were from. I can only assume my parents had seen Star Wars, or certainly my dad at least. But yeah, I remember getting those two figures, and being very happy with those, despite not having seen the movie.
Yeah, I mean, as it is, I think I've said this before, I cannot pinpoint which one came first, but I do know that my first two Star Wars figures were Darth Vader and the Hoth Stormtrooper, both of which I got having no idea what they were. I'd never seen Star Wars, didn't know what Star Wars was, but really liked having these figures. And then, and this is something we can get to in a second or two, whereby ITV in the UK always had a blockbuster movie on Christmas Day. And because I was, I guess, 6 in 1980, so my Star Wars experience went, I saw Star Wars by means of a rented VHS, possibly 81, 82. I then saw Return of the Jedi in the theater because of a friend's birthday party, and I didn't see Empire Strikes Back until it was broadcast on ITV, quite possibly 1988.
Right.
So for me, the movies didn't make a whole lot of sense. It was all about the toys for me. But having got those first two figures, and then quite possibly the next thing I got was the AT8 mini rig. I had these, space toys, but I didn't know where they came from. I didn't know that it was a whole movie franchise. But obviously for me, Christmas 1983 was the big Star Wars Christmas. But in terms of your Christmas Day viewing enjoyment, what kind of movies or TV shows stuck out for you as kids?
Yeah. See, for me, Christmas Day, television was banned. We were not allowed to watch TV on Christmas Day. And Boxing Day, I remember we used to always go and visit my grandparents. They'd come to us on Christmas Day, and then we'd go to them on Boxing Day, and then it was football. So it would be all the Boxing Day football.
Yeah.
And I remember, watching the scores being read out. And it was very boring. It seemed like it went on for like a year. Of Accrington Stanley 1, Sheffield United 2, and so on and so on.
I think I can remember seeing the Never-Ending Story several times. Or Scrooge, the one with Bill Murray. That was also a classic.
Scrooged?
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant film.
Movie.
It was an 80s version, I think it was.
I always remember that I think in terms of TV shows, BBC had the better shows, but ITV had the best movies.
Yeah.
Is that, am I right in saying that?
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Even when I was younger, like ITV on Christmas, it always played, stuff like Back to the Future. It always played like the good stuff which you really wanted to watch,
Yeah, and there was always that excitement whereby, now, I could be wrong on this, but wasn't typically the TV Times and Radio Times a weekly publication, but for Christmas, it was like a bumper edition that covered almost 3 weeks, perhaps?
Yeah, it was a bigger version. Yeah,
And it was
covering the
always
Christmas period.
Yeah, it was always a case of being excited to get. So in my case, my mum would come back with these magazines, and I would go through them, seeing what was going to be played on certain days, and just sort of taking note what I had to watch. And
Yeah.
I remember looking at an old Lucan magazine one time. I did a video of this, and this must have been 1984, I think, because it may have been Boxing Day, perhaps. I'm not sure about this. I can check later on. But ITV had a stellar lineup whereby they had shown Duran Duran's Arena concert video, followed by Star Wars. I'm like, oh my God, two of my favorite things back to back. But I remember also in the late 80s, so obviously, I think we're talking 89 here. The BBC over Christmas, I think it was probably BBC Two, in fact, they ran a series of heavy metal shows. And this ran for like a week. And I pretty much remember the whole lineup. So the first night was Penelope Spheris's Decline of Western Civilization Part 2 movie. That was played on night one. Night two was possibly a double bill featuring Napalm Death and Slayer. Night three was Guns N' Roses Live at the Ritz.
That's a good one.
Yeah, there was another one that featured Metallica at the Hammersmith Ballroom, but also an old Ozzy Osbourne concert. And then I think the last one was like a Def Leppard concert. And I thought, good Lord, this was some really good viewing back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure the BBC wouldn't be showing that kind of stuff these days.
No, that would never happen now.
Yeah.
The problem now is nothing's a surprise. You can just stream whatever you want or find it on YouTube. Or everything's just available.
Actually, there's something to be said for live TV and live radio, in fact, because I remember prior to all these satellite radio stations and things, when you were in the car and the DJ would say, after the break, we have a song from Metallica. It's probably a song I've heard a million times before, but the fact it was being broadcast live made me want to listen to it even more. Likewise, with the TV shows, because it was a case of watch it now or never see it again, it made it much more of a special event.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think
we have a thing now every year in the Netherlands between Christmas and New Year. They have the top 2,000 songs voted for during the whole year.
Right.
So then you have this period where it's just like the most bizarre songs. So you can have like a traditional Dutch pop song and followed by Metallica, followed by Barbie Girl or something. So it's just the most illogical thing. But they do actually make a listing of what songs are coming up. But if you just put it on the car in a journey, you just get like the most abstract playlist ever. It is pretty cool.
Yeah. I always remember there being a sense of excitement about knowing that in 20 minutes, your favorite TV show was coming on. Whether that be A-Team or Knight Rider, Dukes of Hazzard. And it just felt so exciting to know that your favorite show was about to be on this TV screen. And it made it all the more special, whereas nowadays with streaming, you kind of thumb through what's all on. You think, I might watch that. I might watch that. In actual fact, I spend more time scanning than I do watching.
Yeah.
It's quite
I feel like it's more of a case of you see something, you go, oh, cool, I like that. And then you just scroll straight past it.
Yeah. Yeah. It really has
and then
lessened that sense of importance. Yeah.
I can remember the anticipation of the Bond movie, because every Christmas there would be a Bond movie. I forget when it was, whether it was Christmas Eve or Boxing Day. I don't remember, but
I think it was normally
I can
Boxing
remember
Day,
every
wasn't
year
it?
okay, right, yeah, and there was a Bond film on every year, so that was pretty good, especially in the times before a VCR, because you couldn't just like record it and watch it later. You had to watch it at the time.
Yeah.
Tim, I do apologize. I didn't see you down there. We have so many people here. Your little picture was down below, but thank you for joining us, Tim.
Hello.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Hi, Monkey Boy.
And
What
Tim,
have you done to your beard, Tim?
yeah, he's very young.
Yeah, I went to the barber the other day. I told her, okay, take everything off. And then I noticed half my mustache is gone. I told her, I asked her, are you shaving my mustache off? And she said, you said take everything off. I meant leave the mustache. I'm sorry.
Well, Tim, you're not alone. Hairdressers never listen. I went there on, I guess, Wednesday. I said, cut the back and sides, leave the top, and they cut the top in front. So,
Well, it was my fault. I should have said, leave the mustache, but take everything else off.
Right.
I just said, take everything off. So she misunderstood
oh,
me
okay.
because I didn't
She didn't
say
start
leave the
taking
mustache.
Still got your eyebrows, Tim.
Yeah.
I'm happy
But-
surgeons are more precise than
Yes.
This gets
very
all
streamlined.
sweaty if I leave a beard here.
Well, you're very streamlined. You can probably get up to quite a speed now, can't you?
Yeah.
But it always grows back, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. So Jeff just mentioned Top of the Pops, and for Tim and Seth, Top of the Pops was a music show in the UK.
Yeah, I still have a view of the finals of Top.
Oh, excellent!
I
So
know that.
so the Christmas special was always a good one because they had the best songs of the entire year, and the band would be in the studio with tinsel and trees everywhere. But the funny thing is, though, when you watch it back now in 2023, you realize just how high these people were in the studio.
Oh yeah.
As a kid, I thought, wow, they're having a ton of fun. No, they're high as a kite.
I don't know if I can remember correctly, but I do remember a gig of Motorhead on Top of the Pops. Am I
Yes,
correct?
absolutely, yes.
It's funny actually, a commercial show with a heavy band like Motorhead.
Oh, yes. Actually, Top of the Pops really did cover the entire chart. They had all these bands, Motorhead, Iron Maiden, although admittedly, Iron Maiden only ever played in the studio in 1980 because they then realized they didn't want to be a miming band. Because Top of the Pops, I think for the most of the 80s, it was all mimed. And then in the 90s, they began doing live vocals where I think it was Nirvana famously messed things up live on British TV.
Smashing everything.
Yeah.
They really didn't want to mime, did they? So they
just
basically made it as bad as possible. Yeah.
Good old Top of the Pops with their variety of lineup and confused teenagers nervously edging away from a terrifying sexual predator.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. There's what's he called? That guy, the presenter, Jimmy
Savile. Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Now then. Yeah. Some truly awful footage whereby you can actually see girls jumping as he grabbed them on the backside. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course,
Yeah.
It's horrible, isn't it?
But he did some stuff for charity, so they gave him a knighthood and the keys to Buckingham Palace, and and he was a national hero.
In actual fact, he had his own bedroom in the hospital for these. Now, were they sort of mentally deficient girls? Stoke Mandeville.
They were unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Incredible.
terrible.
Yeah.
So back to Christmas then.
Yeah. So Matt is saying The Empire Strikes Back was on Christmas Eve. Now, was that 1988? If I had to say, I would say that was first ever broadcast in the UK in 88, and that's like an 8-year delay at that point.
Yeah.
That's quite incredible.
Yeah.
Sound of Music was and still is the movie I remember always being played at Christmas. Is that the same in the UK? I don't think I ever did that.
Awful movie.
Yeah.
Sure. There was always Mary Poppins and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Well, I have one memory. It may have been Christmas Day, where my dad insisted I watched 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, because there was always those adventure movies with Doug McClure in. So like The Land That Time Forgot and those kind of things where people were running away from animated dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always used to love those. And the Sinbad movies as well. They were always on at Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jason and the Argonauts.
Yeah. Fighting the skeletons and those kind of things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we have... this one could be a problem for me to read. So let me see. Best Christmas TV was watching King Solomon's Mines and thinking, God, this could have been how Indiana Jones turned out. Sharon Stone was stunning, though. Forced balance ensued an Indy on Boxing Day. So Indiana Jones was Boxing Day. So was it typically James Bond on Christmas Day?
So I said it was Boxing Day, I think.
Yeah, I always thought that the best movie, I mean, it could have been on Christmas Day, but I always remember the best stuff was then on Boxing Day because everyone was preoccupied on Christmas Day.
Yeah. That's very true, actually. In fact, Christmas Day, didn't they always do a special EastEnders? Which may have been before Top of the Pops.
Yeah. I've never watched EastEnders.
Yeah. I mean, but, I think the last time I saw EastEnders, I think Dirty Dan was the big villain.
But didn't he come back? He got killed off in sort of like the early 90s or something.
Oh, really?
He came back in the early 2000s.
Yeah. I mean, as it is, though, now here's the thing, though. In America, there's a fantastic service called BritBox, which allows you to watch British TV. And a lot of it is old TV. And I got a special deal via Amazon where I've got it for $2 a month for 2 months. So I've been watching again, Are You Being Served? To the Manor Born, Only When I Laugh, That's My Boy. I also have access to Allo, Open All Hours, Heidi High, all these old classic British shows. And when I watch them, I just get transported back in time. And it's such a wonderful feeling to see how things used to be.
Yeah.
What always occurs to me when
No, go.
What always occurs to me when I look back at these old comical episodes of, for example, Allo is the laughing of the audience. How do you call this? The laughing tape. I don't know what's the English.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something that's still being used in comical shows today. But it sounds today it looks a bit strange with that on it.
Right. Yeah. Also, I've noticed on a lot of the old shows I'm watching, they were clearly ITV shows because when they start, they have the Yorkshire TV ident. But when part one comes to a close, the audience applauds.
Yeah.
You actually hear applause for the end of part one. It's quite something. But what I find is, though, I do enjoy the shows that were filmed in the 80s that were based in the 80s because the sets are kind of what I remember as a kid.
The young ones, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And it's wonderful to look back and see how things used to be, how houses were set up. You know, TV with no remote control.
Yeah.
Record player that was basically a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
With the wooden sides and everything. It's quite remarkable to see how much things have actually changed.
Particularly those British sitcoms, they were great, weren't they? Because you could look in, you could watch them, and you could see stuff that you had yourself in your own home.
Exactly.
They're quite good. I actually let me just grab this. I don't know if you can see this, Dean. Simon will remember this as well.
Let me if I can somehow
Betty.
Yes.
Hang on.
Love that show.
Oh yes.
It was so funny.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have the model car from that, like the Morris Minor.
Sorry.
I have the model car from some others do have them, like the Morris Minor.
That's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Can I just say though, before we go any further, Simon and Tom, are you both wearing Boba Fett Christmas jumpers?
We are.
Yeah. Two different ones.
Boba buddies.
Yes, they do.
I saw that at the beginning, but I don't feel it was given enough attention. I mean, did you conspire before the show to do this?
No. Although I must say that Tom's one is slightly more stylish than mine.
Thanks.
That's crazy though. That you would both do that. That's so bizarre.
Hold on. There we go.
Yeah, I thought Tom was wearing like a Boba Fett top. See, the colors look like Boba Fett.
His one actually looks like Boba Fett's armor, whereas mine is more of a Christmassy jumper, and then you've got Han in carbonite here.
But still, though, that's quite a coincidence.
No, it's the only sort of funny Christmas jumper I've got, and I don't get to wear it that often, you know. When we go to the parents' in-laws for Christmas.
You've both shown up with your A game.
Yeah. Like, the only other options I've got is a Stormtrooper Christmas t-shirt where it's like the 12 days of Christmas, but it's like Christmas decorated Stormtroopers, which my kind of rule is anytime before the 10th of December, like, if I wear anything Christmassy, it's got to be that. And then once it's the 10th of December, then it's like, then I wear like the proper full Boba Fett, you know, bring my A game.
With helmets.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And do you have any festive Christmas jumpers, Monkey Boy?
No, I don't actually. I don't think I own one Christmas jumper, actually. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to let the side down.
I have to say on that subject, I hate the term ugly sweater, because ugly suggests it's not nice. But I think Christmas sweaters are wonderful things.
I remember the first time I heard that, I was really confused because throughout all of like my life, I've been like referred to as Christmas jumpers, and it comes to ugly, and I'm thinking, what?
Yeah, I think ugly sweater is some sort of American term that was coined in recent years.
Yeah. Now, in the Netherlands, we call them fout. It's wrong jumpers.
Yeah. Foute trui, something like that.
Foute trui, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Christmas jumpers, when they first came out, they were done in all seriousness, weren't they? They were done unironically, and then I think it just became a case, certainly in the past few years, of having the most awful one that you can find.
Did everyone hear that?
Well,
somebody else here.
Yeah,
there is. It's only Jason.
Hello.
Hey, Jason.
Good evening,
Hi, Jason.
hello there.
You got your Christmas hat on.
Now, can you hear me?
yes.
Yes, we can.
Oh, good.
And
That obviously fixed it then.
I have completely lost where the chat got up to. So if you give me 1 second, I will try to bring everyone's chat up. I think we're here. So Rob has said on 9, 12, 40 years ago, Return of the Jedi started in German cinemas. So first think after Xmas. There is full 80s continuity and adverts from ITV when they played all the Star Wars films over Xmas on you. Yeah, absolutely. I do love those continuities where you see the old commercials. And also what happened to the British accent in terms of the announcers, because back in the 80s, they were all very posh sounding. Whereas nowadays, you have all manner of dialects, announcing the shows.
But sometimes they even get people from Scotland, Dean. Can you imagine?
Oh, can you? From Scotland?
I know. It's shocking, isn't it?
They?
I know, it's outrageous.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, as well, I've got to be honest about this. When I was back in the UK in 2019, I turned on the news, and I guess it was like a Scottish news program, and the presenters were wearing polo shirts and jeans.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay. What happened to the formal suit and tie and proper English?
That's shocking behaviour.
It really is.
But
tactical
my favorite part of looking back on it. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tom.
Basically, my favorite part of looking back on those is like just because me and my brother, we take the mick out of those type of people. It's like, oh, yes, welcome back to the BBC.
Yeah,
like, because we just find those kind of things, like we just find them too funny, especially compared to nowadays where it's a lot more casual. But just looking, it's just like a certain level of comical value, which you just,
Although I think is it possible they've taken things too far in the casual direction?
I think it's very old-fashioned to have the suits, and I always found it a bit condescending the way they used to speak in the old days.
Yeah. So Tactical Defense is saying, hi, Dean, talking of Christmas TV from 1989, there was a BBC version of The Woman in Black, the scariest thing I ever watched. It was on Christmas Eve. I have not seen that. Anyone else?
Ooh. No, but I want to now.
Oh, yeah. So just take a note.
You want to check
Woman
it out
in
now.
Black.
I just hope it's better than the theatre play that I saw. That was boring as something.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Hoglin's Law says early 80s Christmas Day TV inevitably had a circus on BBC and ITV simultaneously. Yeah, I do remember the circus being broadcast on TV round about Christmas. I was never really a fan of the circus, to be honest. Let me stress, I am in no way afraid of clowns. I just don't find them funny.
Right.
I was probably watching videos.
I don't remember this.
Oh, I'm scared of clowns.
Yeah, I think Stephen King made him a bit scary, like a bit uncanny valley.
True.
Yeah.
Like Chucky did with the dolls, a bit. I forbid.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrew says, who else used to take the Weekend magazine as part of Daily Mail and circling the rude or violent movies, remembering setting the video recorder to Basic Instinct when I was 12. Wow.
I did one more. I used to do tape to tape.
Oh, wow.
So I used to have two video players again. I joined the wires up in the background, where it was, and then we put the normal video in, put the blank in, and then we basically do the pirate of the film.
Pirate, yeah. I managed to do that round about the year 2001 because I had to move back in with my parents, and I had my own VCR. They had a VCR, and I managed to get them synced up, so I was able to record actual videotapes. That was the first time I felt, wow, this is amazing. But that was nothing compared to the first time I ever downloaded music and burned it onto a CD.
Napster.
Yeah, that was I couldn't believe that I could make my own CDs.
The first iPod I found also very spectacular, like holding 10,000 CDs in your pockets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, my first iPod was that big chunky thing.
Yeah,
I think it's 80 gigabytes. And to this day, I'm still amazed that my whole entire collection could fit in my pocket. Whereas previously, it was like rack upon rack of CDs. Yeah, it was mind-blowing. Jeff has said, in the evening, the adults, mum, dad, and grandmother, uncle, and aunts would put on their TV, usually Morecambe and Wise or the Dave Allen Show, to get the baby sham out. Oh, that is fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, the Morecambe and Wise Christmas special.
Yeah.
That's why when I think back in my head, I always think.
Yeah.
No, I always think of the 70s when I think of Christmas because of all the old Christmas specials from.
Absolutely. Now, let me gauge some input here. Who was the better comedy duo, Two Ronnies or Morecambe and Wise?
Morecambe and Wise.
Yeah, Morecambe and Wise.
Oh,
Two Ronnies.
Yeah.
Two Ronnies.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one.
Really?
Don't get me wrong.
Two Ronnies was quite good, but so was Morecambe and Wise. But they're both slightly bit different slapstick humor they both had. So
I'd have liked to have seen a mashup. I would have liked to have seen Ronnie Barker with Eric Morecambe.
Oh,
and the way around as well. Yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, but I think some of the wordplay that the Two Ronnies did is just outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did they write it, they were able to perform it. That is a talent right there.
And if I remember the comedy duos, the Morecambe Wise and the Two Ronnies, I believe there were only two lots of comedians that actually liked each other. The other ones actually hated each other off screen.
Right.
But on screen, even off screen, they were best of friends.
Yeah.
They were.
So now I have to confess here, I guess it was Thanksgiving Day when we put up the decorations. I had a few jars and was feeling quite nostalgic, and I put on some old Cannon and Ball TV show.
Mm-hmm.
It was bloody awful. It really was terrible.
Awful. Yeah.
That was Cannon and Ball, Little and Large.
Yeah, I watched them as Little and Large. I thought, what? This is like completely juvenile. It's not even funny in the slightest. Whereas if I put on a bit of the Two Ronnies, I always laugh without fail.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I've seen the sketches a million times, they still hit the mark.
Yeah, I think the Two Ronnies was more for adults.
Yeah.
Whereas the Morecambe and Wise was for everyone. So there was just silly enough if you were a kid watching it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. In fact, as far as in terms of the Two Ronnies, when I was a kid, I remember the Two Ronnies was broadcast on a Friday. The reason I know that was my grandmother would visit on a Friday. We'd always watch the Two Ronnies, and then my dad would drive her home. And that was the one night I could stay up late. And I remember during, I guess, early 80s, the Two Ronnies had their sketches, but they had a recurring story go on. And one story was the Phantom Raspberry Blower of Old London. So as a kid, that was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking about that just before you said that. That's really fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that. And actually, I was young enough that it was slightly scary for me.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. That was my favourite part. I couldn't wait for that every week. The Phantom Raspberry Blower. That was absolutely brilliant.
Basically, it was Jack the Ripper, except he would blow farts rather than stab people.
That's bad too.
He would wrap his cape around them like Dracula, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. They had another one which was the worm that turned.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, where
And
all the women were in charge of everything. Yeah.
Now, do you remember the two detectives?
Yeah.
I forget the names of the characters, but there was one that was always eating. Yeah. But in terms of the best ever comedy sketch ever made, a lot of people do vote for Four Candles.
Yeah.
How does that rate in your opinion?
I watched that again a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
It's pure
brilliant.
genius.
It still works.
It's really, really good.
Yeah. The other one that sticks in my mind was the one where it was the sweet shop, and nothing's ever a problem.
Yeah, when you said Tyrannus, that's what I thought, like, immediately. Because I remember, must have been, say, in fact, I was a kid at the time. It was the first ever Two Ronnie sketch I watched. I remember I was with my brother and I think my nan, and I think it was like on a homage thing. And I remember just like being on the sofa, just crying with laughter watching that. Just be like, oh, well, yes, I want some chocolate that doesn't melt. And so basically, hands him the chocolate, puts it in his hand. Oh, well, it's melting now. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. Is it like, what's it called? The Sweet Shop sketch or something?
Yeah, the sweet shop sketch. And it's one lady comes in. Actually, no. Ronnie Barker is the shop assistant, and his line is, nothing's ever a problem. And the lady comes in and she wants, this and that. And it's basically based on the whole Four Candles scenario whereby the customer is very demanding type thing. Like, oh, nothing's ever a problem. And in the end, he ends up tipping the sweets on Ronnie Barker's head because he's so frustrated. But yeah. But Tim, in America, did they have any good comedy duos back in the 80s?
Well, we had Cheech and Chong when it came to like movies.
Well,
although I think they started off in the late 70s.
Yeah. What about sketch
They were more
TV shows?
Sketch TV shows.
Yeah.
Well, we had Saturday Night. We've had Saturday Night Live since the 70s.
Yeah. I mean, and that, to be honest, is not good.
No, it's not as good as it once was. It used to be but a lot better.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I used to have an audio tape of Saturday Night Live, but it was it must have been like the late 70s, early 80s, because it was Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, and like it must have been like the first or second season. But I remember really loving that tape.
Is that like Chevy Chase as well?
He was only on it for the first season,
Chevy
I
Chase.
think.
That's John Belushi as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll always have somewhat of a respect for it, because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have the Blues Brothers or we wouldn't have Wayne's World. But that's pretty much like the only reason I really kind of respect. Otherwise,
or Ghostbusters.
I wouldn't
we wouldn't
really
have Ghostbusters.
Interest in it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have Ghostbusters,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Now, Tim, I've been watching a lot on my. Sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Oh, Tim, I've been watching a lot of old Bob Barker, The Price is Right. Was that something that you enjoyed in your younger days?
I might have had it on occasionally.
Yeah.
But I had seen some older clips of his show.
Yeah.
Price is Right. There was an actress and a model who was on his show often named Anitra Ford, who was in a bunch of like 70s exploitation movies.
Yeah. I do enjoy seeing the old prizes because it really does take me back. Now, obviously, Bullseye was very much a British show. And when I watch those old episodes, and some of the prizes are things that we had in our house. And it's just so wonderful to see these. And you know what? When you watch the show and you see Jim Bowen react to people winning, he was genuinely happy for these people. He is probably my favorite game show host because he was so down to earth. In fact, so down to earth, he would say stuff that wasn't really appropriate, but that was just him being himself.
Have you seen that episode? I think it can possibly be found on YouTube. The one that wasn't aired, where because at the beginning he used to walk down the stairs between the audience.
Yeah.
And there's one where he comes out in full bondage gear.
Yeah. Well, actually, that was what they called the end of the year special for the crew, because Rainbow did one. If you remember Rainbow with George and Bungle, seen that one?
Yeah.
with the twangers and balls and things. Yeah. Well, apparently, back in the day, the TV shows would make an X-rated version to show at the Christmas party.
That's brilliant.
And that's what the Bullseye one is. Yeah. But I just remembered there's one outtake on Bullseye where Jim says to the contestant, and yes, I believe you have a nickname. And the guy says, yes, they call me Super Sperm. Ever seen that one?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, no. It was never aired because the guy was told not to say that. He was told to say something else. And the guy, and Jim's like, oh, cut. So they take it again. And Jim's like, oh, great, Smashing Super. And what's your name? I'm George. And they have a nickname for you, don't they, George? Yeah, what's your nickname, George? They call me Super Spread. Bollocks! Don't say that. It's brilliant.
I think didn't Jim Bowen used to do warm-ups for the show beforehand, because he was a stand-up comedian, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Well, he was also a teacher.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, and actually, I honestly, if someone said to me, "What's your favorite TV show of all time?" that would be very close to number one, because it was such a fun show. Because it was a Sunday evening show. And bearing in mind, when you're at primary school, going back to school on a Monday is not that big of a deal versus going back to work on a Monday morning. So already in a pretty good mood. And also Terrahawks and then Bullseye, right? So I used to really enjoy watching Bullseye. But when I watch it back now, I just see how down-to-earth a show it was, because the contestants were just your average British families. There was no pretense about them whatsoever. And the prizes were pretty crap for the most part, but that's kind of made the show.
Yeah.
Let me just catch up here. If I miss anything, I do apologize. It's really hard to keep up with the chat. It does move rather quickly. Was the panel allowed to open one gift on Christmas Eve or have to wait? I had to wait till Christmas Day.
Yeah, I had to wait.
We got them on
Christmas Day.
Only 1 year I've been allowed to open presents on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, here in Holland, they open Christmas presents on the 5th of December. Patjesavond.
Yes.
Yeah. It blew my mind when we moved over here. And then you find out that there's no Father Christmas, there's no Santa Claus, but there's Sinterklaas.
Yes, I was about to mention that.
He comes to the Netherlands the last week of November because he lives in Spain.
Yes, on the boat.
And then and then he comes in, and then for 2 weeks he has all these. They're called Pietertjes, and they're black Pete's, but they were too much slavery and nonsense. We can't have that anymore.
Yeah,
so
and
now they're little peaches, but they give out candy and biscuits and things. And
so if they do the presents on the 5th of December, what do they do on actual Christmas?
Well, actual Christmas, guys, is the same. We have, as I remember, in Belgium, which is next to Holland, we have the same tradition of Sinterklaas, which takes place at the 6th of December. Actually, in the night of 5 on 6 December, Sinterklaas goes around all the houses and comes in, leaves a present for the children, and when the children wake up in the morning, they will find what Sinterklaas has brought them. And that's a tradition we have here, and that's in my family it was more of the focus in December of getting a present with Sinterklaas. We also got a little present around Christmas, but that was smaller. It was like Sinterklaas was the main thing. And Santa Claus, we knew him, but it wasn't, in my family or my environment, it wasn't so anticipated. Sinterklaas also had the tradition of, as a child, you had to write a letter. In the evening of the 5th of December, you leave the letter somewhere in the house, usually at how do you call this, the chimney. That's where you put the letter. And then Sinterklaas will find it, and in the letter could be a request or a question or something, and then Sinterklaas will leave a present. That's how we did that. I remember that most of my vintage Star Wars I got from Sinterklaas, and which, of course, later I discovered that it were my parents. But as a child, I really believed it was real.
Yeah. Is Sinterklaas Saint Nicholas?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we would always celebrate Saint Nicholas Day in my house since we're Roman Catholic.
Yes, he's a Catholic.
So the night before, we would leave our shoes out, and we'd leave a carrot in there for Saint Nicholas's horse to eat.
Yeah.
And then the next day, we'd get the Christmas wrapped up Hershey Kisses in either a big candy cane or a bunch of little candy canes with the Hershey Kisses in our shoes.
But was that also around the 5th of December?
Yeah. We just left our shoes out on the 5th, and then we got candy in them the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really amazing. Yeah, because here it is a tradition. You have to put your shoe out, and you have to sing a song. In the Netherlands, you don't write a letter; you sing a song. And then,
we didn't have to sing a song or write any letter. We just had to leave a carrot in our shoe for Saint Nicholas's horse to eat.
Awesome.
Sinterklaas was also for the children. If you have been a good child, you got a present. But if you didn't, Sinterklaas could not bring you a present. So it was like a motivation for children to be good.
I believe it's tradition here that you were told if you were not good, then you don't get a present, but also the Black Peas come and take you, and you have to work for Sinterklaas.
Exactly. They told us that too. And in the Sinterklaas song, in one of the songs, there is a sentence that says, "Who is good will receive candy, but who is bad will receive the roe." The roe is a Dutch word for a stick, cane. You will be beaten. It was very cruel. And I heard the stories too that if you were really bad, that Zwarte Piet will take you and put you in prison for a while or whatever. Take something away.
You remember the Krampus horror film they did about at least 5 years ago now, maybe longer.
Yeah, that was quite gruesome actually.
Yeah, that was.
So let me just catch up. I think we're probably like 30 minutes behind the chat. So Cold Law says porridge and Blackadder Christmas specials along with Fools and Horses are the best. I would agree with that.
Fools and Horses, yeah.
Tom Stop looks like Arduk's pajamas from Doctor Who.
I never saw that before.
Anyone know where I can download the knockoff Nigel song? Mark, I don't know what that means. Knock off Nigel. Does anyone know?
Sounds like a Doctor Who.
Black.
Who
I think all these sitcoms had a Christmas special at one point or another.
Yeah, it was Blackadder's Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Great.
I radio time from Christmas '89. Highlights TV moment for me was the classic Only Fools and Horses Christmas special, The Jolly Boys Outing, which was the one where they dressed up as Batman and Robin.
Oh,
yeah, I think that one was in the 90s, wasn't it? There was.
Yeah. Good evening, Nick.
hey, hello, Nick.
Hi,
jump
Nick.
on if you so wish. Yes, Blackadder's Christmas Carol. Thank you, Tim. The two Ronnies were a bit more cerebral, correct. Morecambe and Wise, more slapstick, probably easier for younger viewers to relate to. Remember Eric Morecambe advertising the Atari? I don't remember that.
Huh.
Okay.
Tim is saying hello to Nick. Tim back. The Phantom Raspberry Blower of Old London Town. What a blast. Yes, it was. Oh, the goodies with Tim. What was his name?
Tim Brooke Taylor.
Yes. Yeah. Charlie Fairley and Piggy Malone. Those were the detectives on the two Ronnies.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. And Hugh Kitten. Four Candles is amazing. Yes, it is. Four Candles up there with Monty Python's Dead Parrot.
Agreed.
What about Monty Python's cheese shop sketch?
Oh
yeah, without the cheese shop that doesn't have any cheese. Yeah. But I was always a big fan of the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh yeah,
my favorite sketch that is. Yeah,
no one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, Charlton Heston on the Two Ronnies Christmas special. I don't remember it offhand, but I'll definitely look it out. And then Nick is talking about Bully's special prize. Yeah. Actually, so I have a dartboard up here, and quite often I challenge myself to 101 or more with 6 darts. And under normal circumstances, it's very easy. But under pressure, that is not an easy thing to do. Bearing in mind, you have the 5 and the 1 either side of the 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, would you gamble? Depending on your partner, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No, I like to calculate what is possible.
Yeah.
Like to estimate the risks.
But
I know what I'm like. Yes, I would have gambled, and yes, I would have lost.
Yeah, but believe it or not, I saw one episode where the first couple had all the Bullies prize board prizes. They said, we're not gambling. The second couple had like £300. They didn't gamble. The third couple had £200. They didn't gamble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was quite something. Look at what you could have won. Yeah, but bearing in mind though, Bully's special prize was typically a speedboat, and the contestants lived in a flat in Birmingham. What good was that speedboat to them?
Yeah, some of the prizes were a bit dodgy, really. They weren't really thinking,
Yeah. So Drawing by Hand says, Merry Christmas, Dean and crew. Open all hours and porridge was funny as hell. The detectives you mentioned, I think, was Jasper Carrot. No. Piggy Malone and the other one. But yeah, Jasper Carrot. I remember my dad watching Jasper Carrot. Playing with Their Twangers. Yeah, that was the Rainbow Staff special. Zelda and then Big Bull. What a combo. Yeah, absolutely. Terrorhawks straight into Bullseye. Fantastic. Those were the days. Was it the Greedies who did We Wish You a Merry Christmas rock song that Phil Lynott sung and played bass on? I don't remember at all, to be honest. On the subject of Christmas songs, here's a controversial question. Gary Glitcher's Christmas song, do you still play it, or is that banned in your household?
Don't
I didn't even know we did one.
Never played
Rock
it.
and Roll Christmas. Actually, I'll be straight up front. I love the song, so I'm able to separate the art from the artist. So I don't discriminate, so to speak. The guy's a scumbag, no question about that. But the song is a classic from the 70s. So therefore, I still allow it to be played when I do my random playlist of Christmas songs. Any opinion with the panel?
Well, I think it's
It's like
there are some other.
It's not. I mean, okay, to put the it's not just that person. There's other people. It's just still the music is great. Including some other artists where they had things going on, and their music's still great to this day. If you just listen to the music, as far as I'm concerned, it's still good.
Well, here's another thing as well. If you are to believe the accusations, we probably shouldn't play Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that.
But we still do.
In the end, everything is cancelled and banned. There will be nothing. Everyone's got something in their closet, haven't they?
Yeah.
But and if there's some people that are determined to go through people's Twitter accounts, and they could probably find something on Diana and just mention her name.
If Einstein would have been a bad guy, would we wouldn't accept the relativity theory anymore?
Sorry again.
If, for example, Einstein, if he would now discover he was a real bad person, would he still accept his theory of relativity?
Oh, yeah, Einstein, yeah,
exactly.
Or anyone. I mean, it's this canceling culture. I don't like it so much.
And also as well, like, for example, I used to have VHS tapes of a Megadeth, and in one of those videos, I think it was called Rusted Pieces, where it was David Ellefson and Dave Mustaine talking about their old music videos. And in that video, they both make what would now be deemed as homophobic slurs. And therefore, they would be, cancelled. But you cannot base cancelling on today's standards by what happened back in the 80s, because they were different standards.
Yeah. It is much more sensitive.
But it's like if you go back and watch 40 Towers and just see how much sort of racism there is in 40 Towers.
Yeah.
But speaking of 40 Towers, something I do have here is that's not good. But something I do have here, Basil Fawlty with the
Tom, let me make you large if I can. Okay.
Oh,
wow. Oh, and that's the mini.
I never knew.
Is he holding a stick?
Yeah, he's holding a stick.
To give it a damn good thrashing.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite episodes. That is. That's
excellent.
Action figure of Towers.
Can I just ask Tom, what's the Indiana Jones comic thing you've got there to your next to you?
This is a frame I put together myself. I have custom card back. I have the manual for the PS2 game. This you can't really see down here. This is one of the trading cards, and this behind here. This is like a North by Northwest homage comic cover. Should I put in there? There's a bunch of more stuff I could have put in there, but you just wouldn't be able to see it. But
that's super cool, Tom.
Which card back is in there?
Pardon?
The card back in your display. Did you choose it? Is it a special? Which one is that? There's a card back. I think
the card back here is actually completely custom because and everything falls over. But card back there was someone recarded a custom kind of figure. It was the Map Room Indie, which was never on a card back. It was in a playset. And I picked that up because I saw it on eBay for like 20 quid. And my mind was blown because I was thinking, okay, all my life I've been looking for these figures and now just one comes up for 20 quid. So I buy it. I take out the figure and then I put the car back. So I've just had this car back laying around. And then when I was putting together this, I was like, you know what? It's actually a pretty cool car back. I want it on display. So I put it in the frame.
Great.
Nicely done.
Oh, super cool, man.
Right. So Ben has asked to Action Pop Dad, I remember that with half of the Sex Pistols. So that was the song that Nick was talking about with Phil Lynott of Tin Lizzy. And Nick then says, play off 19, Dean, far easier than to hit 20. Yep. Good point about playing darts. Treble 19 is easier to hit than treble 20. Fun fact there. That's the one. So Ben was correct. And Ray, thank you so much, Ray. It's very kind of you. He's like, Merry Christmas, Dean, joining your Patreon today. Oh, thank you so much. Ray, from the list down below, you may pick a video that I will play for everyone to laugh at me. Yes. Do you remember the serial killer that appeared as a contestant on Bullseye? No. I'll need to research that. Ben says, nice one. Mercer's Hideout says, on the Glitter song, I do listen to it as it's a banger, but Iron Maiden did a better version. But hang on, was that not Paul Di'Anno as a solo artist? Iron Maiden never did that song. I think Paul Di'Anno may have done, but definitely not Iron Maiden. But yeah, the song is fantastic. A Rock and Roll Christmas. I mean, yeah. Does anyone remember two Kids Xmas series which were on BBC as part of the Kids BBC Built the Christmas Box of Delights? Yes. And Children of Green Now.
Yeah, I vaguely remember Children of Green.
Yeah, Box of Delights.
Box of Delights was creepy.
Yeah. My uncle used to say he liked Run Rig only at Christmas. Never knew what that was. TV, music. No, Run Rig was a Scottish Scottish Celtic rock band. And they were so big. They were so huge. They did a concert for my high school during school hours. Therefore, they were not huge. Yeah, Run Rig, yeah. So, Oztrack, are you from? Hang on, is your uncle Scottish? Please do let me know because Run Rig were a Scottish band. Gary Wilmot Christmas Special '87 had Jim Bowen on it. Oh, Gary Wilmot, I remember him. He always wore a Christmas sweater. Austin Allegro, that was a prize on Bullseye.
Speaking of Austin Allegros as well, I'm using this one of my brothers because he collects model cars. I'm always like the figure guy. Speaking of Austin Allegro, I'm not going to tell him that I've been picking this up. This here is an Austin Allegro. He loves them for some reason. In fact, he has a square steering wheel somewhere which he bought off eBay.
Oh, wow.
Because he's like a massive Austin Allegro person for some reason. Well, I don't understand it, but there we go.
Fantastic. Okay, so I will quickly use the facility. So let me pose one question to you all. Are you hoping for anything special this Christmas? And please take it in turns to say what you would wish to receive for Christmas this year.
Should we go around the clock, starting at number 12 with Si?
Yep, go ahead, Si.
What would I like for Christmas? Some peace and quiet and a good night's sleep. That's what I really want for Christmas.
With a bow on.
With a bow on. Oh, yeah, of course. Fully wrapped, a good night's sleep. Yes. Tom?
Well, there are only two things I majorly want this year, and that's a Clone Wars Darth Maul action figure and a vintage 1970s or 80s vintage cap gun, because I've only discovered them recently and I just love them. So
do you mean the ones with the reel of paper caps, or the ones with the circle of plastic caps?
Circular ones personally, but that's just
Okay, cool. Seth, how about you?
I don't want any stuff or anything practical. I have so much, but already. I mean, I like to have creative inspiration. I like to have a good idea on Christmas, waking up and saying, that's something I'd like to make or design or draw, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I want.
How about you, Jason? What are you after for this Christmas?
Well, what I would like, but it probably won't. I probably won't get it. So I'll probably have to buy it myself at some point. It's the Master of the Universe Grayskull, because it's down to about 40 quid now on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, treat yourself. Treat yourself.
But it has to be next year.
Yeah. Well, it can be a late Christmas present.
And by then it might be down to 30 quid.
Well, I usually buy my own physical media and toys now, so I've asked my mom to get me another external hard drive for my PC.
Okay.
And what about you, Monkey Boy?
Well, there is something that I've treated myself to for Christmas, but I won't be saying what it is just yet. You'll have to wait for the video in a couple of weeks. But I have today secured myself my own Christmas present, which I've been looking forward to for probably the majority of this year, and I finally managed to get hold of said item or items. But keep an eye on the channel.
Hang on. What is Jason showing here? Let me just bring Jason. What you got there, Jason? Uze?
I think those might be Stan Solo, aren't they?
No, these are originals.
Oh wow! Okay.
I'm not 100% certain.
Mm-hmm.
I got them at the toy fair today.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Hang on. So down, Jason.
Maybe they were Stan Solo figures on custom cards.
Okay. Are they bootlegs?
They're meant to be Turkish bootlegs at the time.
Yeah.
And let's say they look legit, but weren't what I call a professional to look at them and give me a proper.
They look like bootlegs, Jason.
Yeah, that's what they were.
But could they be bootlegs of bootlegs?
Yeah, very could be.
Right. Wow. Very nice.
Well, they've got around. I can see they've got around the licensing issue by calling it Stars War.
Yeah. Those ones. I didn't pay much for them. That's why I took a gamble.
Was it
pretty cool?
Was it Uze that on the card back they had the Imperial gunner fawning over a calculator?
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I am gonna have to split now.
Okay. Thank you, Sai. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Good seeing you, Si.
Absolutely.
It was great. Thank you very much for the great chat. And yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
You too, man. See you again soon, maybe.
Thank you, Sai, for stopping by. Bye.
Yes.
Okay. I'll just get on with the chat real quick. Brilliant stuff, Tom. So I guess that's regarding your Austin Allegro. And Drone Racer wants his 2 front teeth for Christmas. There we go. Oh my God, that's a small hatchback. Footage of Bullseye in 1989 was used as evidence to match an eyewitness account to get the serial killer. On another note, I met Jim a couple of times. The show was filmed in my hometown, Nottingham. Okay, interesting. I've seen Loose Uze for big money. Austin Countryman Estate, just for my OCD's sake. So, where are we now? 4:20. Okay, I guess I didn't give you my answer to what I would hope. Hang on, who's missing? Oh, it's Seth. Well, sadly, I'm at the stage in life whereby I typically have to buy my own gifts and give them to Mrs. AT8 to wrap. Hang on, what's Tim showing us? Let me
Yeah, Boba Fett's.
What you got there?
It's a nice set.
Oh,
Very
Lego.
nice set.
Oh,
cool.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
it's
excellent.
Boba Fett and his it says Boba Fett Starship Microfighter.
Starship? Hang on a minute.
Hang on a
Yeah,
second.
but look, if you notice in the background, you see Jabba's palace, though.
Yeah.
Starship, you say?
Now, is that a modern, like, as in, like, made in the last couple of years?
Must
Yeah, it's a Disney.
Yeah.
Disney, okay.
Yeah, so this is going to go in my Christmas stocking. I bought it myself.
Okay.
That's cool. It looks really cool.
Love the minifigures. Well, minifigure.
Yeah, you just get the Boba Fett, so it just fits this little Boba Fett that comes with it.
Now,
cool.
is that based on, 1983 Boba Fett or Book of Boba Fett?
Book of, I think. Yeah, Book of Boba Fett.
Does he have baggy pants?
It's kind of hard to see.
Right. Ah.
Yeah. It's just a little Lego figure. It's kind of hard to tell.
True. True.
It is the Book of Boba Fett one. It has like the black
okay.
jumpsuits as opposed to like the grey bluey thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even say Book of Boba Fett on here. But it calls it the ship Boba Fett Starship Microfighter instead of Slave One.
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of my Christmas, well, there are no surprises because I have to order it for myself and give it to Mrs. AT8 to wrap. But I have taken a step back in time to the mid-90s, whereby in the mid-90s, I was all about Star Trek. And I even did say to a friend, circa 96, 97, that I believed that Star Trek was far superior to Star Wars. And at that time, I was collecting a lot of Playmates figures and role-playing toys. So I had all the sort of, full-size tricorder, communicator, phaser. I even had Dr. McCoy's medical kit, of course, all since sold on. But round about, I'm going to guess 2014, I began buying the figures again and some of the larger scale dolls. And when going through my stuff, a few months back, I realized I was missing a few items. So I went in search of some figures I was missing, some dolls I was missing. I even had to make a few customs. And then I realized, wait a minute, no one really discusses Star Trek in this whole field. It's all about Star Wars. So maybe in the coming weeks, I will do a video showcasing what I have. But in the last couple of years, Playmates have reissued the things they made back in the 90s. So this December 25th, I will have in my possession once again a classic Star Trek phaser and communicator.
Nice.
Cool.
Which I'm really looking forward to, because here's the thing as well. Like, I have always been a weird individual, and I remember in the mid-90s, so I would have been what? Let me think about this real quick. 23, 24. I was still buying Playmates Star Trek toys, and some of that was full-scale role-playing items. And I would frequently go out into my parents' garden at night and play with the communicator and the phaser and the tricorder, have the lights and the beeping sounds and things.
Under the cover of darkness.
Yeah, of course. although I will share a very sad story in one moment. But I really did enjoy that period of time, because bearing in mind, at this point in time, the BBC Two was giving us, I believe, now I could be wrong, but to the best of my knowledge, Sunday morning was the original series. Wednesday, 6 p.m. was Next Generation. Thursday, maybe 9 p.m. was Deep Space Nine. And Sunday, 6 p.m. was Voyager. We had all four during the week.
Wow.
It was a fantastic time to be a Star Trek fan. And I remember going into Forbidden Planet and the Jenner's department store, and there was absolutely more Star Trek than Star Wars toys for sale at that time.
So, Dean, what was your favorite Star Trek of the classic series? Which movie?
Do you mean the movie? I think obviously Wrath of Khan is a fantastic movie.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. But I really enjoyed them all. I don't understand the hate for the fifth one.
Yeah, me too. The one with the time travel, that is.
Yeah.
You know, there's a very funny scene in there that he talks to a computer mouse.
Yeah. Oh, that's Scotty.
Hilarious.
Computer.
yeah, that one is so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
But-
that.
Yeah, I loved it. And honestly, to this, and also as well, in the recent years, I mean, at this point, I see them sitting on the shelf there. I think I got the HD DVDs of the original series at this point in time, probably 10 years ago. I've never watched them. But my intention is, once we move to our house in Thailand, every Sunday morning at 11 a.m., I will watch one episode to try and recreate that feeling I had back in the mid-90s. I mean, obviously, don't forget as well, I watched those episodes in the 80s because they were shown on BBC Two in the 80s. And one memory I have is my mom would buy a particular brand, I guess they were called breath fresheners. And those were like very floral flavored chalky candies. But they came in a small box with a flippable lid. And she would give me the empty box, which of course, ding, 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 became my communicator. Well, I remember playing with that. So now in the mid-90s, they had Playmates did two versions of the communicator. One was a standard version that would flip open and you would press a button to make the sounds. The other was one you could record your own voice onto. And I had to get that one, and that one did not come with that chirping sound when they flip it open. So I was never quite satisfied. Now, I believe the one that I will be getting, in a couple of weeks, you press a button and the thing flips open and makes the sound in one motion.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, my mind will be blown.
There are a few very good replicas of that prop. I've seen. I don't know from which brands. They're really with working LED panels and all. And actually, the Star Trek universe is very interesting. I think for prop replicators. Because if you see their guns, their communication devices and all, they have a certain design, but they're not too complex. They're usually quite sleek, simple.
Now, also as well, though, I have to confess, back in, I guess, late 90s, early 2000s, when cell phones became more affordable, I, of course, gravitated towards the flip phone.
Yeah.
For that very reason. And I even got it to the point whereby if I put my thumb into the side, I could actually flip it open and then start talking. I was like, oh my God, this is Star Trek. I am living Star Trek.
A few years ago, I was working for the University of Antwerp here.
Yeah.
I had an assignment there. And I found in an old cupboard, there were old prototypes, and it was the product development students. It was an assignment from in the 90s somewhere. And they were asked to think about the concept of a mobile phone.
Yeah.
But these prototypes that were there in that cupboard were there for 30 years. People didn't have that concept we have today. So you could see how the students thought about that concept. And some were like already having the brick like we have today. Others had a foldable device. Others looked at Star Trek and had something around that. So that was very interesting to see that some of them tended to drift towards the design of a communicator of Star Trek. They also had interface design. So there were stickers on these little prototypes of how the students thought about, for example, an icon of a phone, an icon of connection, an icon of a battery value. You could see that, and there is, that's what science fiction prop makers also do. They try to look into the future and predict almost how things will look. And I think Star Trek was more accurate in that maybe than Star Wars.
But of course, you've got shows like Knight Rider, which sort of predicted the Apple Watch. Because I can remember, having one of those Casio wristwatches with a calculator on it. I can remember we always used to run around the playground talking into our watches, pretending we were Knight Rider, and now you can do it. It's crazy.
Dick Tracy, I think he also had a tracking device with a GPS on the watch. Batman had probably a similar device. Yeah.
But Monkey Boy, do you know, a couple of weeks back, Mrs. AT8 and I were walking in the park down here, and we had reason to question the rate of US dollar to Thai baht. I spoke into my watch and got the answer, and I said, whoa, wait a minute here. We are living the future right now.
No, I had that feeling also, so sometimes.
That's crazy, isn't it?
I remember the first time I had a mobile phone. It must have been somewhere at the end of the 90s. And I was walking on the beach, calling people somewhere at home. And I remember that idea, like, I'm calling in the middle of a beach. This is awful. Awful, awesome.
So now to my very embarrassing Star Trek story from the mid-90s. So I'm working in this office building in Edinburgh, Scotland, and everyone used the elevator up and down. And I had this very primitive mobile phone at the time. This was like a huge piece of plastic with keys and one small screen with some like LCDs that was backlit. But to me, this was a Star Trek prop. To further compound things, rather than buy straightforward black shoes for work, I opted for what I believe they call Chelsea boots, which were slip-on boots that I thought resembled the boots worn by Captain Picard and Riker, etc. So I'm thinking myself, I'm half Star Trek here. So I opted to take the back staircase down. And rather than just walk down this staircase, I bring out this big block of a mobile phone, I turn it on so all the buttons are lit, the screen is lit. I start pointing it as I jump down the stairs, look left, look right, take the landing and jump down again. Luckily, no one saw me, but I was acting out my fantasy.
I totally understand.
I can remember a moment where that happened in the reverse. I remember the first time when 3D printing became available for consumers and all. And then you were reading about this, and I was very interested. And I thought, this machine can do anything. It will print me, like in Star Trek, a glass of whiskey. It will print me a shoe. It will make total things. And then the device is in front of you, and then it just makes it plastic.
Jason, show us again.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, is that the movie phaser?
That's a printed one.
Yeah, but that is a 3D printed one.
Yeah.
Is that oversized?
I'm not too sure. Because when you hold it like that, I did actually have the original Playmate one.
Right.
But like you, I sold it some years ago, which I didn't. Got these off my mate who does all the 3D printing. And I believe it's the right size.
Okay, nice.
If you see when I'm holding it in the hand,
it
looks right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's the part. Did you print it yourself? Did you buy it somewhere?
No, a friend of mine does it.
Ah,
Does it in business? He does. He's built 1.1 scale droids.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, some of the stuff he does is amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Max Video says, I hated the costume on Book of Boba Fett. That stupid skirt thing. I customized the Hasbro retro figure and painted the skirt as a kilt. Yeah, I agree. I do not like those baggy pants on Boba Fett.
Oh, that's silly. That was.
Yeah. Star Wars versus Star Trek. Similar to Two Ronnies versus Morecambe and Wise. Different, but all good in my... Absolutely, yeah. Always like the Christmas live stream, so thank you, Obi-Wan. Dick Tracy had a wrist communicator in the 40s. Yeah,
I was about to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening. Oh, thank you, Daz, the Dark Lord. Yeah, we're all good. Thank you so much. Yeah, so if it came down to it, if you could only watch Star Wars or Star Trek, what would you choose?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I like both, but
Yeah. In terms of modern Star Trek, I am somewhat out of the loop. I began watching, I guess it's what was it called, Strange New Worlds, but it's Captain Pike.
Oh, yeah.
I watched the first episode and I didn't love it.
Really?
Yeah, it was okay. It was all right, but it didn't really grip me.
It's not bad. I've got to admit, some of the episodes are like anything. Can be a bit like, where you just turn your eyes up, you're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
But some of the stories are actually quite good.
All right. Also, as well, because I got the Fire Stick, I had access to the animated series that I never saw before.
Yeah, I've watched some of that myself.
I mean, it's pretty good because it is the original cast doing the voiceovers.
Yep.
So it's not bad. It's not amazing, but it's okay, I guess. Yeah. Just to go back here, I don't know if Ray Belmont is still watching, but you may pick a video should you wish. Please do let me know, Ray. Oh, hang on. Ben has just said he's only just finished Deep Space Nine. Took him 30 years. Yeah. Oh, actually, I'll be honest. I think Deep Space Nine may have been my favorite.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, really?
Finally, you got to see a war, where generations, you saw bits and pieces, but because Gene Roddenberry was very much sort of like anti-war, so that's why they never really had what you call big battle scenes, really.
Right. Yeah.
But once he passed away, that was it.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think his wife basically gave that okay as well. I
just remember taping it off the BBC Two, and there was one episode shortly after Worf joined the cast, and they had the battle scene. I guess it was against the Jem'Hadar.
That's correct.
And there was some amazing fight scenes I would watch and rewind and watch again. I think, my God, this is amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple best episodes in Generations were Yesterday's Enterprise, because there's a nice little battle scene in that. The Borg, and anything to deal with the Borg, really, sometimes.
Yeah.
But rarely there was any what I call big fighting scenes between ships, really.
And then I'm thinking about the whole Picard series. I enjoyed all of it, to be honest. Admittedly, the second season was pretty dodgy at times, but that third season was as good as it gets in terms of bringing old characters back into a new movie or TV show. That's how you do it, because all those classic characters we enjoyed in the 80s were represented how they should be represented, whereas with Star Wars, they took our classic characters and just made them so ridiculous.
And then kill them off.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Ryan says, Star Trek all the way, all the time. Star Wars only occasionally for me. Interesting. Yeah. And Max Video says, the last season of Picard was great, except for the actor playing Picard's son, who has an annoying acting style. Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, honestly, God, every character they had on that third season was what you would expect from your legacy characters.
Yeah. With the new series, with the new one, is it necessary to have seen previous series, or can you jump in at that point?
Just really missed what I call the last episode and the first episode. Like most series, they do a cliffhanger. So I would say try and miss the first 2 episodes of the new season, because 9 times there's always a 2-partner. But the rest of it, it's like the original Star Trek.
I think to really get the full experience, you do need to know the whole story from Next Generation. But I think it does. I think it works. It works to an extent as a standalone, but it will definitely be enhanced if you'd seen what happened, from 87 onwards.
Right. Okay.
But all I'm saying is, in terms of how to treat legacy characters, that is how you do it. Yeah. None of this Luke Skywalker being this hermit on an island and tossing his lightsaber away and
blue milk.
Blue milk. Yeah.
Say, Tom, what did you think of Star Trek versus Star Wars? What's your opinion?
Here's the thing. It's like Star Trek, it's always kind of been, well, my dad, we've always been like into Star Wars. My nan has always been the one into Star Trek. So as a kid, whenever I'd see it, my only experiences with Star Trek would be when my nan was watching it.
Yeah.
Then when I got a bit older, I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. And it was very kind of hit and miss. So it was, I love stuff like Wrath of Khan. Actually, Star Trek 3, really like that.
You saw all these classic movies? You've seen all these classic movies? Like Wrath of Khan and Star Trek 3 and all?
I've seen up until 4. And I haven't seen the rest of them. But basically, I enjoy them because they're good films. In terms of the shows, it's a bit like I've seen quite a bit of Star Trek, the original series, just because I like the cheesy sci-fi kind of like I'm a massive Flash Gordon fan. It's that kind of out there science fiction, which always I do like. But in terms of like the newer stuff, I've seen some of Next Generation. I saw 1 episode of Picard, and I thought it was pretty good. But I reckon if I'd sit down and watch Picard, I need to watch Next Generation. I need to Deep Space Nine. Only times I've really saw that is when I've caught it on the telly occasionally, like maybe when I'm having my dinner or lunch or whatever. It's okay. It's nothing groundbreaking, but that I reckon when like a kid and now I've always like when it comes to science fiction, like my main 2 science fictions, Star Wars and Doctor Who. If Star Wars wasn't a thing, then it would probably be Star Trek and Doctor Who. But Star Wars is kind of like it always blew me out of the park every time, Yeah.
So you're a Doctor Who fan as well?
Yeah, I am a pretty big Doctor Who fan. It's like I can be.
Did you watch yesterday's episode?
I've seen 2. I've seen Star Beast. The one after that, haven't seen yesterday's. I was very busy yesterday, but I pretty much probably
them.
Watch it.
Yeah,
he knows his classics, huh?
Pardon?
You know your classics. Yeah, you know the classic sci-fi stuff, really. It's impressive.
Thank you. That's
So the thing about Star Trek is, I think the original series, you can watch any episode in any order you so choose. There's no continuation. With Next Generation, for the most part, you can watch most in any order, but there is a little bit of storyline towards the end. Deep Space Nine and Voyager, there's definitely a continuing story. So you really have to start at season 1 and continue all the way. And I think that's why the original series is so popular, because you can jump in at any point and just watch an episode and take a break and come back again and watch it in any sequence, as opposed to being forced to follow a certain storyline.
Yeah, Doctor Who also has that.
What did you think of Flash Gordon, the movie?
Yeah, like, I mean, I do really like Flash Gordon movie. It's like I've seen occasional I've seen like the occasional serial, like, because there was this time when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch Flash Gordon serials. Watched 1 or 2 of them. Thought they were pretty good, but then I had to do something else. Just kind of forgot to return to them. Yeah,
I remember watching some of the old original black and white Flash Gordons. I got to admit, and I haven't watched them for probably over 30 years. And I thought they weren't too bad, but when I saw the movie, that blew me away. Basically, the music at the end. That, you know,
well,
cracking in music.
But Jason, do you remember the BBC Two during the week at 6 p.m. would show the black and white Godzilla, black and white Flash Gordon, black and white Superman. Yeah.
Buck Rogers used to be on one day at 6 p.m. Like you just said, virtually every day at 6 p.m. on BBC Two, it was a sci-fi program.
Yeah, it was. And that's where Monkey Magic was shown. 6 p.m. on BBC Two. That was a Friday, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah, just remade that, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember in these days also seeing Battlestar Galactica on television. I like that.
And that's funny. I have no memory of Battlestar Galactica.
You know, the spaceships, they looked similar to the way they made them in Star Wars.
Yeah.
This 80s kind of spaceship building.
Right.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Done by the same people, by the way.
Yeah, was it Ireland who did that?
Yeah, so if I remember rightly, from what I remember hearing about, some of the people who done Star Wars went into Battlestar Galactica doing the models, if I remember rightly.
But was it what ILM became the before that? Were these the guys? I can't remember who did. No,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, although I just learned last week. So Kiss played their last ever concerts, and they will live on as avatars. And apparently, ILM did the avatars for Kiss.
Yeah. They might do a hologram like they did with Roy Orbison, I think.
Yeah.
They made
I think the same company.
What do you mean that they will live on as avatars? What do you mean?
Well, Kiss will continue doing concerts on a screen as computer-generated images.
Okay.
Oh.
And ILM were part of this, apparently.
They might do. I am not sure about Kiss, but they might do a holographic projection, which they did for several artists.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's very much like the whole thing with ABBA, I guess, a couple of years back.
Did they?
ABBA came back as 3D holographic projections, and
I think the band Gorillaz also did that trick.
Right. Yeah.
Holographic projection. Roy Orbison, I remember. I was like standing him with the guitar and projected on stage. It was nice.
Yeah.
Or in VR, they might project Kiss in VR concerts, which you can see with glasses on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, one thing I've got to say is I am not a fan of U2, but I am so impressed with their concerts at, I guess it's called the Circle in Las Vegas.
It's a spherical room.
Yeah. It's quite impressive. Yeah. So, okay, we've done well to get this far. So this is what? This is December 10. So next week is obviously 17. So maybe we can do another one of these type things next week.
Sure.
And then if we're pushed, we can try again, not Christmas, because I think the Sunday will be Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it will be.
And that is my day of cutting Brussels sprouts and potatoes and all sorts.
You still do the cross?
Oh, yeah, I do everything traditional.
I was going to ask that. Do you do the cross on the bottom of the sprouts?
No, I don't do a cross.
Oh.
But one thing I don't do is I do not do cranberry sauce.
Oh. Ugh, no.
That doesn't belong with a savory dish, does it?
It doesn't belong on earth.
Well,
a question, Dean, are sprouts a delicatessen where you are? Is it something special there, or is it something common?
They're available year-round.
Okay.
But typically, I associate them with Christmas time.
Yeah, Swim used to really say them. Now they're eating enough all the time now. But really, it be Christmas, didn't we?
Now, funnily enough, maybe a month or two back, we bought a rotisserie chicken already cooked. And I thought, let me make some sage and onion stuffing, which I did. I used my exact recipe I used for Christmas. We had the chicken, the gravy, the stuffing, but it did not feel like Christmas. I think it's just something about the moment that those flavors resonate with your brain to say it's Christmas time, because let me tell you, chicken with gravy and sage and onion stuffing does not taste like Christmas unless it's Christmas, which is quite bizarre.
That's true.
Yeah. Same. Now, also as well, do you remember in the 80s, your parents would probably buy this box of things called Twiglets, or sticky pretzels type, but they tasted like so bitter and terrible, right?
Tasted like Marmite.
Like Marmite.
It's a Marmite thing, because my dad he still buys them, and I mean, because we love Marmite, it's no problem.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, I just remember as a kid being so disgusted by these things. But my God, I would love some right now just to try.
Don't you get them out there at all?
I've never seen them. I mean, we have.
I believe we still get them here.
Yeah, are they still called Twiglets?
Yeah, we still Twiglets, to my knowledge.
Yeah. And do they have that sort of stickiness to the exterior?
Yeah.
The other thing, though, I remembered about Christmas was matchmakers.
Oh, we still get them.
I love matchmakers.
We've got more flavors now.
Yeah, both mint and orange flavor, right?
Yeah,
we got lemon. What's the rest of the flavors, Monkey Boy?
What did you say then?
We got lemon now as well, haven't
Is
we?
there a lemon one?
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I
I didn't know there was a lemon one.
I believe there's another 2 different flavors.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I was just familiar with the mint and orange ones. I didn't know there was lemon. Oh, I like a bit of lemon.
Means they've branched out.
Next question. In terms of a box of After 8 mints, do you take the envelope, eat the mint, and do you discard the envelope, or do you put it back into the box?
I think you have to put it back.
in the box.
Really? Why?
Just to be a menace. To be an absolute menace.
I know that my brother will do it.
After 8's
And
my
I'll
own.
tell him off for doing it, and then I'll do the exact same thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So Tom, you put it back into the box.
probably. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know. I
Yeah.
don't do it with anything
Yeah,
else.
fun.
It's only the After 8s, because other wrappers I don't put back in the box. I'm
Yeah.
very firm on, like, because if it's like a box of Celebrations or
Yeah.
Quality Street,
Yeah,
if
right.
there are people that do that, I do, you know. But After 8s, I kind of, there's something about them which I just have to, because there's more of a distinction, because you can actually tell why. I know there's just something different about an empty After 8 and a regular After 8.
There is something different about them, but you're right. I think if someone does it with the Celebrations or Roses or something like that, you see those empty wrappers in amongst the uneaten sweets, and I just think, what monster has done this?
Right.
Especially like if it's the Quality Street, and then you see like a toffee finger wrapper, and you go, "Oh, my favorite." Pick it up, and then it's empty, and then your mission is then for the rest of the evening is to track down who left that in there.
Yeah. Now, in terms of After 8s, typically throughout the year, would you ever crave a dark chocolate smothered over mint fondant, or is it only because it's Christmas you enjoy those things? Because I don't think it's the most enjoyable of sweet delicacies.
I love mint chocolate. That's just me.
No, I do love. I'm very much a mint chocolate.
Oh, really?
Anything mint, I will have.
I like mint chocolate, but After 8s, I find if you eat more than 9 of them in a row, well, certainly for me anyway, I just feel bloody awful.
Yeah.
Really?
I find mint chocolate so British.
No.
I live in Belgium.
I would be sometimes quite naughty with After 8s. Sometimes I'd be a fat, something. I used to turn the box upside down, shake all the After 8s out, and I'd get about 4 or 5 in the hand and go,
Oh, wow.
Oh, goodness me.
Mm-hmm.
I always
as well.
Yeah. I always remember a box of roses being a real treat at Christmas.
Oh,
yes. And if we were lucky, my mum might pass the tin around maybe 3 times in one evening.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like, whoa, I could get 3 chocolates in one night. But having seen them in recent years, they are not what they were.
No, they're not. No. It's less. I mean, they used to cost quite a lot of money, because obviously a lot of us are around the same age.
Yeah.
And you think they used to be at least, I mean, I can simply go out in my kitchen, because I've got all the tins out in my kitchen. I think they used to be about 5 kilos, I think. Used to be a big off tin.
Yeah. Oh, it's huge.
That deep.
Yeah.
And I think it used to cost, in their money, today's money, probably about 50 to 60 quid worth, I would have said. And I think it used to be about £20 back then. So it was a lot of money, basically in the 80s. I mean, that was American Falcon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that was about around 20 quid.
It was a real delicacy.
Mm-hmm.
But the point I'm trying to get at was they had so many different flavors of chocolate within that one box. But I got a box a couple of years back, and they had at most 5 different varieties in the whole box.
It's only roses I've noticed that with, though, because when I was a kid, I'm not like a chocolate. Sorry, I'm not like a coffee drinker, but the coffee flavored chocolate in there was my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was one Christmas, so we were over my grandma's, and she had a box of roses there, because like she does everywhere. And I just, like, every time I take out the one, following year didn't have it. I was very off put by it. You know?
Oh, you'd have been more than welcome to all the coffee ones in my selection.
I love coffee ones as well.
Was this Jason? What you got there?
All right, bear with me. How do you turn the camera around? Right, I do this way. I do the old-fashioned. But you think how deep that tin is?
Oh wow! Oh, classic.
I think they were 2 kilograms.
But then I just go like that.
Oh,
Can you see
wow.
more?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a nice collection.
In
Can
my
you
media
think how
Cool.
big them things were?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they were a good couple of kilograms.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I always put down as my favorite was the barrel. Oh, actually, it was a half barrel, but it was caramel inside milk chocolate.
Yeah.
And then the gold foil, that was the barrel. The other one was the purple one with hazelnut inside caramel covered in milk chocolate.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I love the hazelnut one.
I think
Yeah, I'm done.
I think Quality Street were let down by their golden penny because that was the filling. That was a filling remover,
Oh,
But-
yeah, yeah.
and there was no chocolate involved. It was like, what's the point in this?
Yeah,
But-
toffee penny was a killer.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Speaking
big
of,
bloody teeth, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, they were really, really bad. They were known for pulling your fillings out. They were horrendous, but they lasted forever. If you could avoid chewing them,
yeah,
they lasted, at least half a bond.
That's something I used to hate them as a kid, but nowadays I really do like them.
yeah. It's a good throwback.
but
Oh, hang on, here he is. Oh, wait a minute. I got to get the sounds here. I think the doorbell is ringing. Is it?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
There it
yep.
is.
There's somebody at the
Someone
door.
at the door.
Yes.
It's only Nick, Action Pop Dad.
Hello.
Hello there.
All right, Nick.
Yeah. How are you, sir?
No audio. I
you,
can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Nick.
Ah,
love the TARDIS, by the way.
One question, yeah?
yeah. Go ahead, Jason.
No, I was just saying what, Nick, remember that old show used to be, can't remember which one, he used to put a finger up and then go movie and so on.
Oh,
Hear me
hang
now.
on. Give us a clue.
Yes, you can hear you now,
That's
Nick.
Film.
Is it a TV show?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Can Nick hear us yet? Well, shall we say, can Nick?
I can hear you. Sorry, no.
Yes.
What it is, I've been lazy this evening. I've recorded my podcast yesterday, so I've had to change all the mic settings, and I couldn't. I'm just coming straight through the built-in stuff on the laptop.
Right, yeah.
So apologies, but it's a bit early. But Merry Christmas, everyone.
Oh yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Really,
So let us catch up with things, Nick. So the question was 2 Ronnies or Morecambe and Wise?
2 Ronnies for me, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. What else? Quality Street or Roses?
Quality Street.
Roses.
Quality Street, yeah. Quality Street was the choice of the family when I was younger. So I sort of had a
Really?
soft
Yeah,
spot
I'd
for
have
them,
to
and
go-
probably
I'd have to go Roses.
probably early onset type 2 diabetes because I was a fat kid. I ate a lot of them.
Yeah.
I was the same, Nick.
Yeah.
But speaking of Quality Street, in my media studies classroom, the first thing we studied was an old 1960s Quality Street poster, and my first thought, like, while other people were thinking, "Oh wow, look how dated this looks." First thing, I went to my mate and I was like, "Do you see how many flavors of Quality Street are in this tin?" And then he was like, "Yeah." And you see how large this tin is. And then he's like, so he agrees. And I'm like, why can't there be like a special edition tin that has like loads of flavors, as like the proper tin, say a bit more expensive, which fair enough. But if that could just be like, something you could have like, and it would last,
Yeah.
That's my Christmas wish.
So, Nick, another question you missed, which you might like to let us know. Is there anything that you are after this Christmas?
I've already had my Christmas present. My TV basically died. So me and the wife, when the Black Friday sales came, brought ourselves like some 4K mental good TV, which is far too good for us, but I'm really enjoying it because I've watched like the new Doctor Who's on it. I watched The Nightmare Before Christmas on it the other day, and it's just basically I've been going with such an old TV for such a long time. I didn't realize how good TV has become. Like, so that's my present. No doubt I'll get a couple of bottles of beer and some socks and some smellies and stuff. So I've got something to open, but nothing overly, because I sort of treated myself a lot this year because I bought myself a new laptop and some recording equipment. So I can't really expect Santa to bring me too much at Christmas.
Oh.
You probably bought some new tattoos for your body.
He hasn't got any room left.
I haven't had any this year, Tim.
He's not got his face left.
No, I've still got space on my arm, just there. I will get that sorted at some point. I'm thinking of having a tattoo of Monkey Boy holding Skeletor right there.
That'll be wild.
So the thing is, we laugh, but I'm stupid enough to do it, Dave.
Yeah, we believe it as well.
Next year is going to be my tattoo year. I think I'm going to get there's about 5 more that I want to get done, and I think next year is going to be the year.
But would either of you get a tattoo on your butt?
No, not really. I don't want any tattoos anywhere that I can't see them. Nick's probably got all sorts on his bum.
That's a good one.
Put it this way. There's nowhere on my body I wouldn't put a tattoo. That's all I'm gonna say.
No.
I remember something my dad said. He used to work in a pub, and my old man, he really had the gift of the gab. The women at all ages used to near enough fell at his knees. But even the young ones, he used to be like, "No, you're old enough to be my daughters." And one of them, where he used to change, they was basically like multi-unisex. And one of the women came in. I think she's only about 25 or something. And he saw that she had a tattoo. And he went to her, "So where does that lead?" So obviously down, in a certain reason. She went, "Well, you should see the tattoo on the backside where it comes out." And apparently it was flames.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
why not?
We've already reached the it's over 2.5 hours now, and I did say I would keep this one under control because last time I got way out of control and things ended up quite nasty for me. But this is December 10, so we can do this again next week if you so wish.
Yeah, cool.
I just realized we didn't even look at any toy catalogs this week. I'll make a point of making a section of the stream where we can look at old toy catalogs and things. Let me just catch up with the chat here. Ray said, "I'm still on the road while listening. In regards to the audio clip that you mentioned, I could select, if it's okay with you, I'll go with any of your choice, perhaps a pick from the guests. Thank you." I don't even know what that is referring to. I have to confess.
It's referring to the pick of the songs that you've got on the crawl at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, hang on. Did Ray super chat? Okay, in that case, Ray, yep. Let me just get back to where we were so I can. Okay. That case,
my vote would be for option number 4, which is Dean, man Dean.
Okay, now this is a small portion of last year's Christmas song I did, which I will end the stream with, but I'll give you a small taster. So that's the one you picked. Old man Dean is high. Here we go. Christmas time and I'm feeling high. There we go. Old Man Dean was high.
That's reminded me of William Shatner.
Yeah.
Tim, that the
Precisely.
whole thing was based on William Shatner. That was last year's Christmas song. Sadly, I couldn't do one this year because I've sold all the gear. But next year we'll try again, hopefully in nicer circumstances. So
I liked that guitar riff you made for the Ghost action figurine at the end.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Thank you.
Oh.
Oh, also, as well, not to blow my own trumpet, I hope you all enjoyed the intro and the theme song for the live streams. I made the theme song especially cheesy to be some sort of old style talk show introduction.
With the crowds on the concert, like you're walking.
Oh no, yeah,
the guitar.
that's the normal live stream, but for this one, I did a particularly cheesy, sort of Christmassy talk show type bit of music. I hope you enjoyed it.
I missed it. I was making a cup of tea.
Well,
I'll go back and listen. I'll go back and listen to the replay.
No, tell you what. Hang on. No, I can't because it's got the
Bring
whole background. Oh, go back and watch it, eh?
Yeah, I'll go back and watch it.
And we can see it next week as well. But as I said, I will end this stream with the full video of last year's Christmas song, which I think is the saddest Christmas song ever done. But anyway, Ray says, "I'll scratch that. I selected Old Man Dean, please." Oh, there we go. Your gift for song will be greatly appreciated. Oh, thank you so much. Ben says, "Nice collection, travels and more." Yeah, awesome tins, Jason. Ben saying, "Hey to Action Pop Dad." And Race Epic. Okay, glad you enjoyed it. Now, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I cannot go on for hours here. Tomorrow, I have to get everything ready because we're going to Graceland on Tuesday.
Nice.
And bearing in mind, we went there, I think it was last summer, and I filmed everything, but I didn't bother using it because I thought, well, no one wants to watch this. You know what? Screw it. I will make a damn video this time.
Yeah,
Trip to the home of Elvis and show all his classic decorations and all
people want to see it. People will want to see it.
Yeah, perhaps.
Simon and Garfunkel have a song called "Going to Graceland"?
Yeah, actually, there's another one as well. I think it was it possibly Lynyrd Skynyrd did a Christmas song as well. Yeah, and they mentioned Graceland. Yeah, and also this time we're going to be brave. Now, just now, Tim, I'm sure you know this, but Memphis is not a nice city to be in. I think it's the murder capital of America, or close to it.
I didn't know that. I thought that would be more like Chicago or New York.
Well, I mean, it's up there, but they have the Graceland Hotel. There's a restaurant down Elvis Presley Boulevard that Elvis used to eat at. And if you call them, they will come to the hotel in this big pink Cadillac and pick you up and take you to the restaurant. So we're going to go there and see the booth that Elvis ate at. But they have this like really cool gift shop and stuff. So I'm going to film all that and film the decorations. And apparently the decorations they have up in the house are the ones that he put up in the 70s before he passed away. So,
wow.
Well, it's been it's my mum has just messaged me basically saying that it's time for me to make like a tree and leave.
Of course,
so
better than a shepherd.
Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, thank you, Tom.
Great talking to you.
Good to see you again, Tom.
So this is me signing out. Good Friday.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tom. Hopefully see you again.
Yeah. Sign
okay.
out.
See you again, man. Bye.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a good point to end things. So we'll try again next week. And this time we will actually look at some toy catalogs and maybe even some TV listings from the 80s and have a discussion on. I think I may have done this last year. Who was better, BBC or ITV? And I think from memory, the BBC had better TV shows, but ITV had better movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suspect that will be the case again. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
may
good.
well be the case. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign out and say goodbye to everyone and say thank you to each and every one of you guys for coming on this stream. I will remove you forcibly and then end the stream with my Christmas song from last year, which, as I said, is the saddest Christmas song ever. But maybe it's something you can relate to. Who knows? And as Tim pointed out, yes, very much based on William Shatner doing Rocket Man.
Excellent.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And thanks you
Steve.
to everyone who stopped by.
Guys.
This was fantastic.
It's good.
This was the first one, and typically things get better as we get closer to Christmas. So this was just
Well,
a
it's nice.
warm.
It was nice to talk to you all.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having us on, Dean.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
thank
Well,
you
thank
for
you for
having
coming
us.
on. So much. Thank you so much. So
Sorry I couldn't get on sooner, man.
no, it's okay. Don't absolutely no worries. But we will do it all again next Sunday, similar time, similar channel type thing.
We'll be there.
But in the meantime, I will close out with my Christmas song, The Ghosts of Christmas. So I will see you all next week. And
Okay.
saying that, it's goodbye from me and
It's goodbye from him.
bye from
Bye.
all of them. Okay, thank you so much. See you next week. Here we go.
See you,
1,
everyone.
2, 3. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Christmas time and I'm feeling high as I sit here thinking of the years gone by. Dreams of Santa, dreams of snow. Where has the time gone? Nobody knows. Thinking back to a happier time. Plates of turkey and glasses of wine. With friends and family all long gone, as I stare into the abyss of a brand new dawn. I'm chasing the ghosts of Christmas past, reliving memories that were always built to last, living the dreams from a time gone by, when laughter and joy would reach the sky. I'm chasing the ghosts of Christmas past, as life these days is just so damn fast. Those memories that fill my mind, back when I was happy, back when I was kind. It's hard, but when you're having fun, deep in the snow or under the sun, and those memories of old come flooding back, as you look at those presents piled high in a stack. Thoughts of Grandma drinking sherry, as we gathered round all happy and merry. Whatever it costs, I'll gladly pay to go back in time and relive those days. I'm chasing the ghosts of Christmas past, reliving memories that were always built to last, living the dreams from a time gone by, when laughter and joy would reach the sky. I'm chasing the ghosts of Christmas past, as life these days is just so damn fast. Those memories that fill my mind, back when I was happy, back when I was kind. I'm chasing the ghosts of Christmas past, reliving memories that were always built to last, living the dreams from a time gone by, when laughter and joy would reach the sky. I'm still chasing the ghosts of Christmas past, as life these days is just so damn fast. Those memories that fill my mind, back when I was happy, back when I was kind. Merry Christmas, everybody.